Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. What a great setting for college football tonight. In a Big 12 matchup in the North Division, the University of Colorado takes on the Kansas State Wildcats on a perfect evening. College Football Saturday, presented by Suzuki. And good evening, everybody. Along with Joel Klatt, I'm Drew Goodman. Two schools that are used to being in the national picture. Two schools that have figured prominently in the top 20 polls through the years. They want to get back to that place, and both believe on their way they need a win tonight.
Well, to say this game is very important for both of these teams is an understatement. CU got off to a fast start, winning their first three. They've stubbed their toe of late, although they've faced some great opponents. Kansas State has a back-end loaded schedule in the Big 12. They need this fifth victory if they want to get their sixth down the road to go to a bowl game.
Yeah, no question about it. And Kansas State has been very good so far this year on offense. And leading the way has been Josh Freeman, their junior quarterback. If you follow the Big 12, you know this is the land of the quarterback. Somehow, this guy's fallen beneath the radar. I don't get it.
I don't either, because he's 6'6" and 250. This guy has a great arm. He's the NFL's best prospect from this league, and he's running the ball extremely well for Kansas State this year. That's new to his game. He's got 12 touchdowns rushing to go along with those 12 touchdowns throwing the football.
That's Tim Tebow stuff
very
from
much
down
so.
In Gainesville, Florida. For the University of Colorado, they got off to a great start. They beat their arch rivals, Colorado State, convincingly in the opener. They were producing yards, but the last 3 weeks, they've stubbed their toe. Now, they've played some great teams. Florida State, #1 Texas, and last week on the road against Kansas. When you're the quarterback, as Joel Klatt well knows, you get a lot of heat when things don't go well, and Cody Hawkins is feeling the heat literally and figuratively.
Yeah, exactly, because he's playing behind a banged-up offensive line right now, and when you're playing behind an offensive line like that as a quarterback, you know you've got to have fast feet and a fast trigger. Cody just needs to calm down in the pocket. He's going to be just fine.
Well, we were at practice a couple of days ago. Tyler Hansen is a true freshman, a great athlete, and he was getting a lot of snaps. We've been told there's a possibility he will play tonight. I think that has more to do with Hansen and less to do with Hawkins.
Absolutely. Hansen just gives that escapability in the pocket, and when you're playing behind an offensive line that's young and inexperienced, sometimes you just need that.
Absolutely. This one should be a blast. Kansas State and Colorado meeting for the 64th time tonight in front of more than 53,000 at Folsom Field in Boulder. One of the great sights in college football at Folsom Field, Ralphie Ford leading the Golden Buffaloes into Folsom Field. Another sellout, the Flatirons of the Rockies. K-State and Colorado coming up in a few moments. Back upstairs with Joel Klatt, I'm Drew Goodman. Well, coaches love to talk about the third phase, the kicking game. Well, some folks talk about it and others walk the walk, as they say, and both of these schools walk the walk.
Yeah, they sure do, and they put pressure on the opposing team. Kansas State does it blocking kicks. They've done it a country best 6 times this season. 4 of those have gone for touchdowns. Colorado, on the other hand, puts a lot of pressure on your return game by Josh Smith. He's a great returner. He's returned one for a touchdown this year, and he's up there in the country's leading all-purpose yards, and a lot of that is to do with the way he returns the football.
Yeah, you better account for him in the kick game, and for Colorado, they better make sure they have everybody accounted for when they have to punt the football, because Kansas State has been unbelievable in that regard. As Joel mentioned, 4 block punts already this year. We are set to go. Colorado, Kansas State, come on back to Boulder with us. College Football Saturday is presented by Suzuki. Quad Fair 2008 is here. Get the best deals and lowest financing of the year on Suzuki's full line of performance-driven ATVs. Visit your local dealer today. By Advance Auto Parts, keep the wheels turning. And by Whataburger, just like you like it. Man, it is absolutely perfect for college football, or maybe even to go camping here well into the month of October. The temperature earlier today was in the low 80s, believe it or not. And the game time temperature still hovering around the 70-degree mark. T-shirt weather. Colorado won the toss. As you look at the weather facts, they have deferred to the second half. So Kansas State will get it to begin. Kicking off for Colorado, Jamison Davis, a true freshman with a big leg. And back deep for K-State is Keithan Valentine, along with number 89, Aubrey Quarles, who is from Aurora, Colorado, and Grandview High School. In the direction of Quarles, he's 5 yards deep, and he's going to put on the brakes. So K-State will begin at the 20-yard line. We do have a flag down in the area of offsides on Colorado. And if that's the case, I almost guarantee Ron Prince would ask him to kick it again.
Offsides, kicking team, number 55. Elected to re-kick.
Tom Walker's our referee this evening, and they'll back him up to the 30-yard line. They'll kick it off again. Excuse me, the 25-yard line. They'll kick it off again.
Sometimes those guys, especially on the opening kickoff, just get a little too excited. Obviously, one just crossed that line of scrimmage too early. Never want to kick to a guy like Quarles twice. You know, he wanted to bring it out from 6 yards deep because he's got a lot of confidence in himself. He's definitely going to get a chance to return this one. Now they're going to back it up 5.
I always have believed the toughest thing for a kick returner is the opening kickoff when it goes 4 or 5 yards deep, because you're as hyped up as you'll be all afternoon or all evening. In this case, you want to go.
Absolutely.
So Davis from the 25, a big leg, and of course we're at altitude, so the ball flies, well, they say in baseball, about 10% farther. We'll see. He's going to field it on a hop, and he's not going to be able to do it. It's going to get into the end zone, and they will start at the 20 on the second kick as well. There is Josh Freeman, the junior quarterback. He's from Kansas City, coming out of high school. He signed initially with Nebraska, and then they were going through some coaching issues up there, and he changed his mind and went to Kansas State. And interestingly, Ron Prince, his head coach, was at the University of Virginia at the time. They were recruiting him to try to get him to Charlottesville.
A lot of times that's what happens. A coach knows you from recruiting you for one school, like Prince did at Virginia, and Freeman just followed him up to Manhattan, Kansas.
2 receivers to the top. Logan Dold is the featured back right now. He was over 100 last week against A&M. Freeman down the middle. It is complete. Out to the 48-yard line. Dion Murphy on a deep in pattern, a pickup of 28 yards. Let's take a look at the offensive line for K-State. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Edward Prince is sharing time at the left tackle with Alisana. Zach Kendall's moved to center. Justin Bador is hurt. The skill guys, the receivers, are very good. Aubrey Quarles has done well, and Brandon Banks, a little guy who can really fly. That is incomplete as Quarles tried to pin it against his hip and could not. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Let's take a look at Colorado defensively. They've hung in there nicely. Colorado overall playing a lot of young football players. This year they've already played 7 true freshmen. George Hippolyte has played a lot of football, as has Brandon Nichols. They're the 2-3 techniques. And Jeff Smart's their leading tackler. He's the Mike linebacker. Brad Jones, their best pass rusher. Ryan Walters leads a solid secondary. Chappelle Brown's a ball hawk. He's not all that big at 5'8", but he's always around the football. Freeman, 3-step drop. And he misses Dion Murphy. Pretty good coverage there by Jaleel Brown, sophomore corner from Phoenix.
Yeah, great job of getting on the back hip by Jaleel right here. He's able to just follow Murphy on a slant pass. They're just trying to run a flat route and a slant behind it. Unable to connect there because of the good coverage by Jaleel Brown.
Colorado will be in nickel a good portion of the evening. K-State's base offense is a 3-wide receiver set. They need the Colorado 44. And that's what Freeman can do. He gets himself out of trouble, and he's got a first down to Banks. who's still on his feet, to the 34-yard line. Brandon Banks, he's fun. Joel, he is 5'7", 142 pounds.
That is unbelievable. You see Brad Smith right there for Colorado, Brad Jones, excuse me, on his way to the quarterback, but Freeman able to roll out there and get it to Banks. This is special right here. When you can sense the pressure come from your backside, roll out of it, you're going to find a guy a lot of times, and he finds the little guy down the field for a first down.
Here's a little zone read fake. Freeman a lot of time, home run football toward Quarles, and he overthrows him. Quarles ran a 9 route. It was well defended, so it'll be 2nd and 10. On the coverage, Gardner McKay, a senior from Inglewood, California.
Yeah, and Gardner's not the heaviest guy out there. He's 5'11", 165 pounds, but definitely he's got some make-up speed. We saw it right there. Anytime you run a go on a corner, he's got to be able to keep up with the wide receiver. Quarles was just not able to get behind McKay in the end zone.
They'll go empty here on 2nd and 10. Mastrud, the tight end, is the widest to the top of your screen. Murphy, and he is tackled right about the 25-yard line, and where they're going to mark it, it looks like he's going to be a half-yard shy. Ryan Walters wrapped him up.
This guy knows how to play the game. Deion Murphy was a 2007 Big 12 Newcomer of the Year, so definitely made a nice footprint for himself last season in the Big 12, and he's doing a nice job again this year. That's his 13th catch of the season.
Freeman is thrown on every down. It's 3rd and short, and they're going to run it with Freeman, and at 6'6", 250 pounds, he leans forward to move the chains again. You mentioned it off the top. Not only does he obviously lead them throwing the football,
yeah,
he is their leading rusher as well.
And it's not by design. They're not trying to have Josh Freeman run the football all the time. They do some zone read stuff, and then short yardage, you just saw it right there for Josh Freeman. But he has run the ball for 221 yards and 12 touchdowns. What he does so well is what you saw earlier in the drive, get out of the pocket, and then he makes good decisions, either find an open man or using his feet.
Logan Dold's first trip, and he's going to get 5 yards inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. One more note about Freeman carrying the football in a contrast to a year ago. That was his 48th toe to the ball a moment ago. Last year, the entire season, he carried it just 53 times.
Yeah, in his 2 previous seasons as a starting quarterback, he rushed the ball for negative yards. And, of course, in college football, they count sacks against your rushing stats. So this year being just in positive numbers is great for Kansas State. But he's not just positive, Drew. He's really a weapon for them with his feet and his size and decision-making.
2nd and 5, Freeman with all kinds of time underneath. He was trying to get the drag route to Brandon Banks, and it'll be 3rd and 5. Jeff Smart and Chappelle Brown were in the neighborhood.
You know, we were talking with Coach Prince earlier in the week. He told us that when he was recruiting Banks out of a junior college, even though he was a junior college All-American, he said he never really wanted to meet him because he didn't want to see this kid that was only 140 pounds and picture what it was going to be like to play Big 12 football. But he has done a heck of a job on the season, over 500 yards bringing down the rock.
Banks and Quarles to the near side, 3rd and 5. They need the 14-yard line. Pressure coming, throw to the tight end. First down, he drops the football. And is it a fumble or an incomplete pass?
No indication yet.
They're going to give it to Colorado. Colorado football. Mastrud made the catch, had plenty for a first down, and it was knocked loose. So a 10-play drive, an impressive drive by K-State, and they're going to come up empty on the turnover.
They're going to just slip the tight end, Mastrud, down the middle of the field. Freeman puts it right on the money. But there's Dykes able to get his helmet on the ball. That's what they teach all defensive backs. If you try to strip it or put your helmet right on the football, he was able to jar it loose. Colorado recovers. That's a big break early in this football game.
Brad Jones picked up the football. So Kansas State moves it all the way inside the 10-yard line of Colorado, and then they cough it up. No score from Boulder. While we were away, that play, as in any play in college football, was under review. And after reviewing it for a lengthy period of time, they have ruled it an incomplete pass. And I don't think it's the wrong call, Joel.
I don't either, because I don't think the ball ever really got settled. Yeah, see, he never actually cradled it into his body, and it never got secure. And they talk about that football move. There was no football move made. The ball just never was quite secure. You see it falling down his chest a little bit even before Dykes is able to get in there and pop it loose. So going to be 4th down. And
so we'll see Brooks Rossman, their senior kicker, who's been perfect this year in the field goal department. And he is set up right down the middle. This will be a 38-yard attempt for Rossman, senior from San Diego.
That couldn't be in a better spot, being in the middle of the field. Plus, this kid is K-State's career leader in field goal percentage at 81%, so he doesn't miss a lot of these.
And keep in mind, they had a fellow there by the name of Martin Gramatica, who is an All-American. And he's got it right down the middle. So Kansas State comes away with points, 3-0. They lead as Rossman has his 6th field goal of the year. K-State, behind the 21st ranked passing attack in the country, leads it 3-0 on their first possession. Let's take a look at tonight's principal financial edge to the game. Joel Klatt.
Well, living on the edge, first of all, Kansas State has a couple great defensive ends in Ian Campbell, the veteran, and true freshman Brandon Harrell from the St. Louis area. And with the young tackles for Colorado, that's going to be a key all night. Plus, little big man, we already saw play out a little bit. Brandon Beggs and Chappelle Brown, the two guys, both of them 5'7", about 160 pounds. Banks is even 140 pounds. Special teams got to be special for them tonight. Kansas State has blocked 6 kicks this year. That's #1 in the country. In fact, 31 kicks since 2002. Is 4th in the country since that point. And Josh Smith, he's got to be big for Colorado, continually giving them good field position.
Well, he's going to get an opportunity perhaps here. This one's returnable. It comes down at the 1 to Josh Smith. Behind the wedge, looking for an opening. A flag comes in as he's dumped at the 29-yard line. So Smith, who averages right at 29 yards a return, got 28 on that return, but a hold on Colorado.
10-yard penalty, first down.
They're going to be backed up inside their 20, which unfortunately for Colorado is not unfamiliar. About 1/3 of their drives this year have started inside their own 20.
The percentages at that point just go way down in order to score the football. Cody Hawkins, talked about him struggling a little bit this year. I think that's due to the banged up offensive line. Again, if he just plays patient here tonight, this Kansas State defense is not the best defense in the country. In fact, 111th in total defense, so he's got a chance to get on track here tonight.
Jake Behrens and Rodney Stewart in the eye. Here's Stewart getting the call. He's got a big opening. Stewart across the 40 before he's knocked out of bounds. A pickup of 21. That offensive line, a little stretch blocking on the edge, and they got the little man Stewart to the corner. Let's take a look at the O-line for Colorado. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual. The right side has been beat up. Head and Barr not originally starters. Sanders a 3-year starter at center. Nate Solder is going to be a great player. They're the skill guys. Stewart's a lot of fun. He's a true freshman. Here he goes again, and this time he got maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And the linebacker, Ula Pomale, in the middle made the tackle. Let's take a look at K-State. You'll see him in an odd front. You'll see him in an even front. Brandon Harreld's impressive. He's a true freshman. Ian Campbell twice has been an all Big 12 player. We talked about Pomale a moment ago. Ola Hall's a transfer from Virginia. Joshua Moore is very active, and the two safeties are good ones. Here's a little boot for Hawkins, and he'll throw it in the flat. Patrick Williams with the catch, but a minimal gain. He was covered well by Moore. Moore's a sophomore from Pompano Beach, Florida, and he's the leading tackler for Kansas State.
Yeah, you never like that when you're talking about a secondary guy leading you in tackles, but I like what Colorado's trying to do. calm down Cody a little bit, get him on the edge, try to get him a nice completion. Patrick Williams just came back too much to the football and only got him 1 yard. So it's 3rd and 9 here. Put under the gun this young offensive line. Let's see how they react with those good defensive ends.
K-State brings 5 on a delayed blitz. Hawkins gets it away. Williams was well covered, maybe too well, as a flag comes in late. Number 6 for Kansas State is Blair Irvin.
Before the pass, holding, defense, number 6. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Those defensive holdings are always huge because it gets you that clean set of downs, and that's big, especially with on that set of downs. Cody's struggling a little bit on the outside, and Campbell again, he darted into the inside. Ian Campbell, he got loose. He's the one who forced Cody out of the pocket on that last play. If he has a big game tonight, then it's going to be very hard for Colorado to get on track.
Here's the stretch play again, and Stewart again has a big opening. He loses the football, and it is picked up inbounds by Joshua Moore. Kansas State football. I don't think Stewart was hit. He just let it go by, I don't know if his knee came up or his thigh pad came up. It just looked like he lost it.
Yeah, and you got to credit Joshua Moore to continue his pursuit this whole time in order to get the football. Great blocking up front, including Patrick DeVinny over there on the end. He's a tight end. Yeah, I don't know if it just popped out. A lot of times these new footballs, Drew, are very slick, and anytime they're against a rib pad or these new jerseys, it'll just pop out. I think that
it just came out.
I think it just came out right there. Good hustle from Joshua Moore, able to get over there and recover it, importantly, inbounds. He didn't want to just dive on that football, but make sure he picks it up with his feet inbounds so that K-State retains possession.
Logan Dole behind Freeman. K-State with the football at their own 28. Dole is tackled almost immediately. Closing quickly was Maurice Lucas, a senior from Rangeview High School in the Denver area.
You know, we were wrong. Blair Irvin, number 6, the corner over there, got a helmet on that. Able to get his helmet on the elbow. That's what popped the ball loose on Rodney Stewart. Blair Irvin is a 6-foot, 180-pound corner, so good size. He was getting blocked and still made the play, so great hustle right there from Irvin and Moore.
Doled again, and not much room as Colorado held their ground. Brad Jones will get up last defensively for the Buffaloes, and it'll be 3rd down and about 7 yards to go for K-State. You know, on that opening drive, Joel, 54 to 61 yards that the Wildcats accumulated were through the air.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to get their running game on track right now. That's tough versus this CU defensive line. You got Hippolyte and Nicholas in the middle. Those guys are a load when you're trying to move them out of there. Kansas State's only had 4 rushes for 10 yards, so not averaging too much in the middle of that CU defensive front.
Freeman's got the play clock at 1, and now he escapes. He looks to run for a 1st down. He'll have it.
Boy,
and the thing about him, Joel, is he's not a guy that drops back and makes one read and takes off.
No, absolutely not. He's not necessarily a running quarterback. He's going through his entire progression, and then when things break down, he's got this type of athleticism to get out of the pocket as Nicholas goes right up the middle, forces Freeman out to his right, and he's still able to get the 1st down. Jeff Smart right there to trip him up. Smart leading tackler for the Colorado Buffaloes, but Freeman's a load out there. It just shows you the type of athleticism he has on the outside.
Freeman gets it away, and it's complete to Banks. Flip side of the 50, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. An advance of 25. Chappelle Brown, Ryan Walters knocked him out. But there is Brandon Banks once again.
As we're going to see, Chappelle Brown is coming over from this backside, and he's the one right here. This is where Banks gets his separation. He was trying to get a jam right there. He thought he had some middle help. Banks was able to get across there, unscathed. Anytime a guy that small and that quick can go across the middle of the field and not get kind of chucked by the middle linebacker or more of a chuck by Chappelle Brown, it's going to be big things for the offense.
Freeman all kinds of time into coverage. He had a post route with Quarles and over the top help from DJ Dykes. It'll be incomplete, 2nd and 10. Tonight's scouting report is brought to you by E-Trade. Let's take a look at the Wildcats, who are up 3-0. They're averaging better than 40 points a game. Last week they were over 40 down in College Station against the Aggies. Joel talked about how good they are in terms of blocking punts. 4 of those touchdowns on blocks. Defense has been the problem for K-State. And Logan Dold is wrapped up. Gardner McKay, I don't know if it was a corner blitz on a run, but he was in the backfield in a hurry.
Yeah, he was on a corner blitz here from the short side. You see that a lot from the short side of the field.
Let's take a look at the E-Trade scouting report for the University of Colorado. They've been solid defensively. Joel, the problem has been on offense.
Definitely has been, although they'd like to be a little more solid against the run, although they've faced some good rushing teams, except for Kansas. Kansas is the one that wasn't really a rushing prowess, but got loose on the Buffs last week.
Freeman down the middle, and Banks couldn't quite haul that one in. And it'll be 4th down. And this is kind of gray area for Coach Prince. Football is at the 36-yard line, and Rossman, we were watching him warm up, and he was good close to 60 yards. Now, there's no wind at all. There's no advantage going either direction right now, but they're going to have Rossman attempt one that's going to be in the neighborhood of 53 yards when they place it down.
Yep, going to be about 54, Drew. Now, this is a big kick right here. This will give the Buffs big field position if he misses this.
He's got plenty of leg, and it is plenty good. Rossman from 53 yards, and it's 6-0 K-State. He's missed one kick all year. That was a PAT. That's one you celebrate about. I like this altitude. It's fun.
Play here more often.
Yeah. Brooks Rossman with a career best 53-yard field goal to give K-State a 6-0 lead. His previous best 52 yards, yes, against Colorado. Let's check in now with the 3rd member of our crew, Alana Rizzo, with tonight's Jack in the Box sideline report. Hey, Alana.
Hey, Drew. Thanks very much. You know, Colorado and Kansas State are 2 very similar programs. Colorado going for their first conference win right now. Kansas State earning their first just last week against Texas A&M. But both teams are looking for something today that they have not had all season, and that would be consistency. All clubs looking for consistency in all 3 phases of their game, and both coaches told us earlier this week that they know a win today could be pivotal in terms of turning things around in a positive direction. Drew?
Yeah, no question about it. Again, with a win, Ron Prince's K-State Wildcats would go to 5-2. Colorado would snap a 3-game losing streak and improve to 4-3. Josh Smith 2 yards deep. Here he comes. And he'll get just to the 20-yard line.
Good coverage right there from K-State. You can tell that they spend a lot of time on special teams. You know, Ron Prince definitely understands the importance of going down there and making tackles, making sure that big plays don't happen in the special teams area, and he actually creates them for his team. So this Wildcat team, under Prince's direction, has done a great job on the specialty areas.
Offset eye, Behrens, and Rodney Stewart, the true freshman from Ohio. And Stewart tries to bounce it, and he'll get just to the line of scrimmage. Penetration by Alex Rebeck, and the redshirt freshman made the tackle. Let's take a look at the Big 12 North standings, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Kansas at 2-0, 5-1 overall. And Missouri and Texas, that'll have some eyes on them.
That's going to be a big game. Kansas was down in Norman earlier today, and definitely potential for them to pick up their first Big 12 loss.
That is complete to Scotty McKnight across the 25 to the 26, which will set up a more manageable third down. It'll be 3rd and 4. Chris Carney, who also has Denver ties. There's a lot of kids for Kansas State, 5 of them, in fact, that are from the state of Colorado. Carney's from Mullen High School, played for our friend Dave Logan, who, by the way, tonight inducted into the University of Colorado Hall of Fame after an All-American career here as a football player and All-Big 8 basketball player. Third down throw is through the mitts of number 48, Cody Crawford, and that'll bring up 4th down for Colorado.
And when you don't have any rhythm on offense, it seems like these type of plays happen all the time. You know, you execute well, your offensive line, although young, blocks everybody well, and then the receiver just doesn't execute. Cody Crawford's got to bring this ball down. Hawkins puts it right on the money. Don't know if he was getting hit while he was trying to catch that ball, but that ball's got to be caught for a 1st down.
Matt DeLallo just got it away. Here's Murphy, 35-yard line. And outstanding coverage by Colorado. It is a punt of 39, no return, as Gardner McKay was down on special teams.
A lot of times when you're going after every punt trying to block those, you're just going to kind of forego on the return game, and that's what we're seeing from Kansas State. But Blair Irvin almost blocked that punt. Definitely something to watch as this game goes on, especially when you don't get a 1st down from your own 20, because those are the type of punts, Drew, that end up for touchdowns.
Freeman right to the line of scrimmage. They're going to mark it at the 34-yard line. Looks like Freeman is changing the play. Dole gets through the hole, and he's going to have about 7 yards on 1st down. Sean Moeller made the tackle. You know, we talked a lot about special teams and Kansas State's ability to block kicks. Ron Prince spent a few years as the O coordinator at the University of Virginia. Well,
yeah.
Frank Beamer has influence on everybody in the Eastern Seaboard.
Absolutely.
And of course, nobody's been better than Virginia Tech in blocking kicks through the years. And Ron Prince acknowledged that when we chatted with him a couple of days ago. Dole, not going to get anything here. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Got to credit those 2 big defensive tackles for Colorado on that play. Anytime that your offensive line can't get any push up the middle, it's guys like George Hippolyte, 86, and Brandon Nicholas, 94, on the inside that are really making that happen, establishing the defensive line of scrimmage and allowing that play to get drawn out laterally.
Maurice Lucas will get credit for the tackle. There's Hippolyte, the senior. 3rd and 4. Freeman knocked up in the air, and Walters dove for it, couldn't come up with it. But Colorado will get a 3 and out against K-State.
Credit this defense in the 1st quarter. They're keeping this team in the game. Freeman has got a man open. I think he just was a hair too late, and that was able to, that's why McKay was able to get in there and knock that ball away. Yeah, nice job right there by McKay, getting in there, breaking up the 3rd down play, and this defense.
They're going to fake it,
punt.
And it is wide open for K-State. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That's Atrell Snipes, who got his first collegiate action at the Division I level last week. He's a junior college transfer from Bakersfield. And look at that, on the fake, he goes 27 yards. 1st down, K-State at the Buffalo 33.
First big play in the special teams arena gets chalked up to K-State. Atrell Snipes, good design of a play right here. And then you see the speed on the outside, able to pick up the 1st down and much more. Josh Smith, the returner, actually has to come up and make the tackle there. Good gamble by Coach Prince and the K-State Wildcats.
Pressure coming, and Freeman is low on his throw to Jaron Mastrud. I have to tell you something. You made a great point a moment ago in that Colorado down 6-0. K-State has dominated this 1st quarter. There's 3:42 left. Yet Freeman is just 4 of 13.
Exactly, and I think that the defensive line, credit Brad Jones, because in the nickel package. He goes from his linebacker spot. Number 40 is going to drop down to the defensive end. He's at the top of your screen right now. He's a speed rusher. He's got to get to the quarterback for Colorado to be successful.
And Logan Dole, no room. Again, coming off the short corner, getting a piece of the tackle was Gardner McKay. He's had an active first quarter.
Anytime you go into the short side of the field, that's an opportune time for a defense to blitz their corner because he's so close to the action right now. What we're going to see is Gardner McKay come into your screen number 6, and it's hard for the running back to recognize that because he is a corner. He's looking at the interior of the defense trying to make his cut. Gardner McKay slips in there and makes the tackle.
And they didn't get any movement on Brandon Nicholas. Third down and a long 9. Freeman with pressure coming underneath Route Murphy. McKay the tackle, shy of a first down by about 1.5 yards.
Big stop again, but I don't see Rossman coming on the field, so I think K-State's going to go for this.
They're going to bring in the H-back, Brett Allstat. They don't really have a traditional fullback. You don't see him in 2-back sets much.
No, they're either in 2 tight ends or in 3 wide receivers, which is a single tailback. Don't be surprised here if you see a Tim Tebow type of run where Freeman, we saw it earlier in the game, is just going to take it over the tackle.
They run counter Trey with him, and here it comes.
It's going to be a false start.
The ball comes loose. We have a false start as well. That's no play. And now,
foul. False start. Offense, number 28. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
You nailed it.
Yeah,
it's a true freshman, Logan Dole. And now we'll see Rossman again.
It's almost like clockwork. You get those big plays where right during the flow of the game, you know, the crowd gets up, they realize the importance. Sometimes your heart, if you're a true freshman, just starts beating a little too fast. So that's what happened to Logan Dole, and he just kind of stepped forward. False start. That's a big false start because Freeman's probably going to get that first down, Drew. It's just under 2 yards, but now they got to send Rossman out for his 3rd field goal of the first quarter.
47 yards. And he misses this one. That's his first miss this year. So it remains 6-0. And if you're Dan Hawkins, the way this first quarter has played out, you have to feel real good you're within 6 points.
Absolutely, because there's 2 big momentum swings that have already happened in this first quarter. The first, the fake punt executed by Kansas State, got the first down. They're able to continue the drive, but then the CU defense holds, and now the kick. Rossman is just going to push it a little bit and pushes it wide right. This is a big momentum swing, and guess who we're going to see now for the first action in college, the true freshman, number 9, Tyler Hansen in the game for the Colorado Buffs.
So as we saw in practice and as the staff talked about, this is Hansen, who is very athletic, and he loses the football, and he's going to lose 5 yards on his first carry. Now a different package offensively for Hansen than Cody Hawkins runs. You may see a little more zone read, designed run plays, as you just saw on his first snap.
But mostly it's not just the athleticism, it's the intangibles and the intelligence level. Cody's been a starter for a year, understands the offense. Hansen's just a true freshman with a steep learning curve, so he just can't execute the whole offense.
Here's another true freshman, Darrell Scott, and he gets maybe 1 yard. He was dropped by Ian Campbell, the much celebrated senior defensive end from Cimarron, Kansas.
And this is those situations that Coach Hawkins was talking about today. It's a very fine line. You don't want to ruin the confidence of your incumbent and starting and leading quarterback on this team, Cody Hawkins, by taking him out of the game. At the same token, you don't want to ruin Tyler Hansen's confidence by putting him in a situation where you don't think he's going to be successful. So everybody on thin ice right now a little bit over there on the CU sideline.
And here he is with room, and he's going to have a first down to the 41-yard line.
Good design play right here because the true freshman doesn't have to think at all. A designed quarterback draw that's executed beautifully by the offensive line and some good downfield blocking by the running backs and wide receivers. Demetrius Sumler comes in the game at tailback, takes the fake. He's the better blocker, gets a great block in the middle of the field, allowing Hansen to go for the first down. Again, I like the play call, not allowing him to make too many decisions, Drew. That's very important.
Now they give it to Rodney Stewart, and he has a pickup of 7 or 8, and it gives the young quarterback a chance to get into a rhythm. The tackle by John Hulick.
And you touched on it. It's a limited package, so we're going to see Cody Hawkins again. This is not he's coming in to replace Cody at this point. He's just getting in there, running a package of plays. We're going to see Cody more. This is just kind of a tandem quarterback strategy put in place by Dan Hawkins.
There's a little zone read. We watched him run that in practice, and it was interesting because when Hansen would then go to the sideline or in a practice field, just walk back a few feet.
Yeah.
You didn't see Cody Hawkins running that same type of offense. No. And the first guy to go meet Hansen, Cody Hawkins. That tells you a lot about that young man. First chapter is closed in Boulder, Colorado at Folsom Field. Kansas State 6 and Colorado nothing.
Welcome back to College Football Saturday, presented by Suzuki. Kansas State has a 6-0 lead over Colorado as we start the second quarter. A new quarterback for Colorado, the true freshman in Hansen. And I talked to Coach Hawkins about Cody, how he would handle that. He said, you know what, he would rather win on the sidelines than lose while playing. As they give Hansen a shot here, he said he doesn't like people asking him if he's okay, to keep positive, because Coach Hawkins said that Cody is always positive. He's always had great perspective. And as you saw there, Cody was the first one to talk to Hansen after that drive, guys.
And Cody's back in there on 3rd and 1. Out of a traditional eye, it is a first down to Stewart. He was wrapped up by Chris Carney. He's one of the captains for K-State, a junior.
This goes back to what we were talking about, Drew, how Hansen has a package, but Cody Hawkins is still going to have to handle third downs, things like 2-minute drill, anything that's crucial situations. Even though Hansen comes back on the field for base downs right now, that's what's going to be going on all night long, is this tandem role, especially if Hansen continues to move the ball for the Buffs.
And here's Hansen the other way. And Hansen to the 30, still going inside the 25 to the 24.
Good decision on the outside by the true freshman. A lot of times a young quarterback gets out there and he's going to force the ball because he wants to throw it. Hansen gets out there, realizes that he's got green grass. A little over pursuit by the Kansas State linebackers, and he tucks it very early. A good block by Behrens. And then Hansen able to continue to move the chains. You can tell he's very athletic. You can tell that he can get down the field. That's what they need right now, you know, with this banged-up offensive line, a guy that can get on the outside and not allow the offensive line's mistakes to be magnified. That's what Hansen's bringing right now for the Buffs.
Pick up at 25. This is a quarterback draw, and Hansen leans forward. Back to the line of scrimmage. Brandon Harold made the tackle, the true freshman from East St. Louis, Illinois. You and I were chatting this week, and you have a unique perspective on quarterback play from playing here at the University of Colorado, playing a little bit in the National Football League. So often the most popular guy for fans is the backup quarterback, but when he's a kid like Hansen, people forget he can't get you out of a bad play.
No.
He may be limited in scope in what you can run with him. Here he is again on the carry. Hansen to the 12-yard line. Another first down for Colorado. But everybody wants that guy to play. He may not be ready to play.
He's not, and he's not ready to play, and that's what we've seen so far. He's ready to do what he has done thus far for the Buffs, which is your quarterback reads, your zone reads, does a nice job right here, able to get the defensive end to bite inside Eric Childs, and then lowers his shoulder. He's going to learn as he goes on in his career. That's a time just to slide.
Darryl Scott along with Maurice Cantrell. Here's Scott trying to find a hole. Now he does, stays on his feet, and out of bounds inside the 5-yard line of the 4. That may be the best run so far of Darryl Scott's career. One of the most celebrated high school running backs in the country a year ago.
I think that this offense just needs a little bit of confidence or a spark. That's what Hansen has produced. This Kansas State defense, watching them on film, has missed a lot of tackles. You saw that missed tackle by number 30, Chris Carney. Darryl Scott, he's very strong, even though he's a young guy. He's able to just bounce off, continue to go. Now they've got a second and short. Everything's at your disposal at second and short.
Hawkins back in, and he hands off to Stewart. Touchdown, Colorado.
And how big is the defense now, Drew? Holding the Kansas State Wildcats to field goals in the first quarter. This is going to give the opportunity to the Buffs to go up with just one touchdown.
First career touchdown for the freshman from Westerville, Ohio.
Great blocking inside. You see Ryer Greer, the tight end, 87, had a great block on the outside.
That wasn't a block, that was an assault. And Colorado gets the extra point from Eric Goodman, and it is 7-6 Buffaloes early second quarter. Tyler Hansen for Cody Hawkins moved him in close, and then Stewart took it the last 4 yards. Colorado, behind a Rodney Stewart 4-yard run, leads K-State 7-6 in Boulder. Next week, college football Saturday returns with a triple header, beginning with number 6 Oklahoma battling these Kansas State Wildcats. Then the University of Colorado will take on 12th ranked Missouri, followed by number 4 USC taking on Arizona. Coverage begins next Saturday at 11 Central, 10 Mountain in high definition. Jamison Davis to kick it deep. And that he did. He hammered it through the end zone. Earlier today, OU beats Kansas, number 4 over number 16, 45-31. How loaded is the Big 12 Conference at the beginning of play today? 6 teams among the nation's top 20.
I was fortunate enough to be at the Cotton Bowl last week to see those great teams, Texas and Oklahoma, play each other. And tell you what, I think if they played 10 times, it would be 5-5.
I agree.
I really do. That's how evenly matched I thought that they were.
That was a great college football game.
Changing up the play.
Freeman with a strike that is dropped. Quarles had it and lost it. Excuse me, it's Banks, not Quarles. Banks had it on a skinny post and lost it. And there have been a couple of drops on Josh Freeman today.
Yeah, definitely. He hasn't necessarily been inaccurate. He's had a few balls drop, some good defense by the Colorado Buffaloes. He's only 5 of 15 right now, but I think he's played better than that for 86 yards. This ball is right on the money. In fact, it's in Banks' arms. He's got to bring that down. That matchup is big in the slot. Chappelle Brown versus Banks. Banks has got to win that for K-State.
Here's a hitch to Quarles, and he gets maybe a yard. Jaleel Brown jumped, the ball came loose. Colorado football.
I have a feeling this one might be reviewed, Drew. But
yeah, Ryan Walters came up with it. Looked like it came out late. Now,
I'll be a great pursuit by Colorado, though. A lot of black jerseys and gold helmets jumping on that pile. I think that the forward momentum was definitely stopped of Quarles, and we're going to take a look at it. Trying to run the inside screen, the bubble screen to Quarles. Brown's the first one there. Hippolyte. I think he was, definitely. He was definitely down. If this gets reviewed, which I'm sure it will. If you're Colorado, though, you got to snap this ball as quickly as you possibly can, because you were the benefit right there.
And Colorado gets it snapped.
Wow.
That's a break. Here's a backside screen to the tight end, and dragged down for a loss of 5 yards is Ryer Gear. And a nice play by Olu Hall, junior from Fairfax, Virginia.
Here, a little bit of a cheer right now for the freshman. Again, comes in the ball game, number 9, Hansen. I think we're going to see a lot of the same, though, with him. It's going to be, maybe a 15-20 play package at most. We're going to see some zone read right here.
We'll put Behrens in the slot, and here comes his zone read. Stewart probably lost a yard on that play. So Colorado going backwards after the turnover. Now it's 3rd down and long, and I would assume Hawkins will come back in. And here he comes onto the field.
3rd down situation. You know what Hansen does give them when that zone read package is the threat of the quarterback. So at that point, then it's going to free up Stewart a lot, because you're faking to Stewart and trying to run the quarterback or just giving it to him. They can't dedicate all their defense to the speedy running back.
Hawkins, and he's behind Smith, and it is 4th down. Smith on a clear out drag had a lot of room, but the throw was well behind him.
Yeah, a little bit behind him. I think Cody just kind of jumped at this one right here, and Smith was unable to get this one reined in, but Goodman's out to try a long field goal here, about 48 yards.
He's missed his last 4, so he's trying to right the ship. He's got a strong leg, transfer from Wyoming, and this one is blocked. There's K-State again. Their 7th block of the year. That is an amazing statistic. 7 ball games, 7 blocks.
Looked like the pressure was right up the middle. Got great presence right in the front of the kicker and is able to block that kick. That's, again, another huge momentum swing, and special teams continually providing that for K-State. Yeah, right up the middle. Is that Campbell? Campbell gets in there, or Childs.
That's coaches, as you know.
That's Ian Campbell.
Yeah, and you're studying and studying gaps and how teams block on field goals, on placements, and on punts, and they find gaps. Freeman in trouble. Guys just bounce off him. He's so big. And he's out of the tackle box. He throws it away. Won't be grounding. It'll just be 2nd and 10. I mean, Freeman, he reminds me a little bit Dante Culpepper, where he's as big as the D lineman.
Exactly. And as you see, Kansas State moves into a tie for 3rd in terms of blocks of any kick since 2002. When you pass Virginia Tech blocking kicks, you know you've done something. And Ian Campbell, the veteran defensive end, got in there on that last field goal and was able to block it for Kansas State. Obviously some
Logan Dole, and he has 10 yards, or very close to it. And they're going to mark his knee down right at midfield, so it'll set up 3rd down and a yard. Chappelle Brown, 29, tripped him up. Alisana comes in at left tackle. Edward Prince goes out. We have a little rotation going at left tackle. Well, they go empty, but I expect Freeman to carry the football here on 3rd and short.
Yeah, see, you better have someone to spy him, because right now they don't have too many levels of their defense.
Oh, man, they wrapped him up. Leading the charge was Maurice Lucas, and he's going to lose a yard. Maurice Lucas, the senior from Rangeview High in Aurora, with a big hit, and that'll force a K-State punt.
Great defense from the front of the Colorado defensive line. Hippolyte Nicholas, Mo Lucas, Ryan Walters comes in on a blitz. I think they were just in some zero coverage right there. Ended up getting to Josh Freeman and bringing him down. That's a huge third down stop. Able to get the ball back now if K-State does decide to punt.
DJ Fulhaig with a gorgeous punt. A little too gorgeous as it goes through the end zone. And we're going to have a penalty on K-State. A punt of 51 yards, a net of 31. Josh Smith is now up and jogging off the field. He got detonated at the 3-yard line. But it's going to be fair catch interference.
Absolutely. And Coach Hawkins is saying that this is completely flagrant and he should be thrown out. He went low. He wants Atrell Snipes thrown out of this game, and probably deservedly slow. So
that's a dangerous
to go low
play
like that. You see how Hawkins goes through the roof.
Personal foul, kicking team number 81. Unnecessary roughness. The result of the play was a touchback. 15-yard penalty from the 20-yard line. 1st down.
And a timeout on the field. So Colorado will get it at their own 35-yard line when we return. 9:14 to go in the 2nd quarter. Colorado leading 7-6. In tonight's Sonic Historical Flashback, we take you back to November 13, 2004. Colorado up 7. K-State quarterback Dylan Meyer throws a touchdown strike with 36 seconds left. But there's Joel Klatt of Colorado. 5 seconds left. He hits a wide-open Rod Montiel. 64 yards later, a touchdown. And Colorado over K-State that afternoon, 38-31. A much younger Joel Klatt. A much more athletic Joel Klatt.
I was going to say, I can't move like that anymore. I didn't think I could move like that anyways.
I remember that game. That was
a great football game.
That was a great finish. More so if you were a Colorado fan than if you were a Wildcat fan. Tyler Hansen in the ball game, and he's going to throw his first pass. Safe throw. Ryer Gear the catch, 14 yards. And Colorado now is in plus territory in the passing department. Prior to that throw, Cody Hawkins was 3 of 5 for 0 yards because they had a couple of losses.
Yeah, exactly, and a very safe call from the Colorado Buffaloes. Just a little rollout off the run action pass, and Ryer Greer does a nice job getting open in the flat. That's an easy pass to complete if you're a true freshman. Rolling to your right, just dump it to a tight end.
Nice move by Hansen, and he'll reach ahead across midfield. He'll get a couple on first down. 2nd and 8, the tackle by Ian Campbell.
Good discipline by Ian Campbell, staying home on the zone read play. On the zone read, the quarterback is reading that backside defensive end, and Campbell was able to just stay home, stay put, force Hansen to keep the football, and then make the tackle for a short gain.
Well, one of the things that the coaching staff likes about Hansen, they say he's a gamer. He likes to play. He's not just a guy that has skills, and they feel with his moxie that he could handle this as they've pulled the red shirt on him in week 7. It's going to be 3rd down and 6.
That's a good stop by Childs and Pomelli right there.
And here's something interesting also, Joel. 3rd down and probably closer to 7. They're going to leave Hansen in the football game and not bring in Cody Hawkins, as they did the first 2 possessions after Hansen had come out.
So an obvious passing down. Let's see how the true freshman reacts.
Looks like they're going to heat him up. They bring 5. Hansen in trouble. And he's throwing it deep downfield. He's got a man, and it is dropped, though. We're going to get an interference call. Cody Crawford had it, lost it. But we're going to get interference on Kansas State.
2 defenders over there, Blair Irvin and Courtney Herndon, the strong safety. They just got turned around. That's hard to do.
Pass interference, defense, number 6, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You know, I was saying that's a very tough place for a defensive back, especially when the quarterback breaks the pocket and the receiver starts coming back to the quarterback. It's a broken play. Your heads are turned around. You just don't know where everything is. And I think they just, well, I didn't quite see it right there. I just think that the official thought Irvin should have turned his head at some point and played the football there.
Still a very catchable ball, even after the contact. Hansen on the zone read is going to take a pretty good lick right around the line of scrimmage. Reggie Walker finished him off, a senior linebacker from Sacramento. With Joel Klatt and Alana Rizzo, I'm Drew Goodman. Clock moving inside 7.5 minutes to go before halftime. 7-6 Colorado.
Tell you, a hit like that will flat open your eyes. I don't care what class you are. You can be a veteran quarterback. A hit like that will do some damage.
4-man front for K-State. Hansen with a strike to Patrick Williams, who steps out at the 20-yard line. How well was that ball delivered?
Very, very well delivered. Standing tall in the pocket, almost like a veteran. Patrick Williams runs a great route on the outside. The ball is delivered high and to the outside, which is the sign of a quarterback that knows what he's doing. He's under a little pressure in the pocket, but he's able to put the ball on the outside shoulder of Patrick Williams. That's right where it's supposed to be in case there's any defender there to cover that. Good release right there from the freshman Hansen. He's shown me a lot of moxie so far in this first half.
Demetrius Sumler in the backfield next to Hansen. Hansen a double move. He's got Scotty McKnight. Touchdown, Colorado.
First touchdown pass for the true freshman Tyler Hansen, and what a beauty it was. The double move, and he puts it high and on the outside. Scotty McKnight just able to run under it. Look who's the #1 fan, Cody Hawkins. That's what I love to see right there. A couple of guys, good friends, good teammates. Hansen, what a great delivery. Sets his back foot and is able to deliver the ball so that McKnight is able to run under it as Goodman puts the extra point through. Very impressive throw. Now that's 2 plays. We hadn't seen him throw from the pocket, Drew, in this game. And then on successive plays, he throws a strike to Patrick Williams on the right side and a touchdown to McKnight on the left side of the end zone.
Great touch throw by Hansen. A perfect throw. True freshman from Temecula, California. He has the Buffs up 14-6. College Football Saturday is brought to you by Liberty Mutual, providing auto, home, and life insurance from a company that's as responsible as you are. Responsibility, what's your policy? By Sport Clips, guys love sports, guys get haircuts. And by Jack in the Box, we don't make it until you order it. Back at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. Tyler Hansen keeping the legs loose. The arm's plenty loose. He's 3 of 3, including his first touchdown strike of his career. 21 yards to Scotty McKnight. The Buffaloes leading the Wildcats 14-6. Quarles back at the goal line. Now a yard deep. And Quarles won't get the 20-yard line. Knocked out at about the 17. Tonight's touchdown of the game is brought to you by Hampton Inns. Now this is as pretty a throw as you'll see. A little out and up from Scotty McKnight. Hitch and go. And an absolutely perfect throw from Hansen. Well, let's see if Josh Freeman and Kansas State can respond. They'll go empty on first down. K-State really dominated the first quarter, but the Colorado defense made enough plays to keep them to field goals. The blitz coming, the sack at the 3-yard line. DJ Dykes on a strong safety blitz. They're going to mark him at the 7-yard line. That's where the contact first came. A loss of 10. And for Colorado, their 13th sack of the year.
You know, even though Dykes got in there very quickly, you can say this is a coverage sack. What's going to happen is you're going to get outside rusher and inside rusher, and Dykes is coming from his safety position, and he's blitzing right in the B gap. He's able to come free. There's nobody open, and remember, it was empty, so there was no one to protect and no release to throw to. Dykes is able to get it done. Sack Freeman inside the 5-yard line.
Deion Murphy on a little curl, picks up 5. It'll be 3rd down and 16 for K-State.
Well, Dykes is one of those former walk-on type guys that just works hard, is in the right spot at the right time, and then he timed that blitz correctly. He's able to put Kansas State way behind the chains. Now you're looking at a 3rd and about 15. That's very tough from an offensive perspective. Kansas State's going to go empty again.
Short drop, and this is Master, the tight end, to about the 20-yard line. And Freeman just got enough room for his punter. 3 and out. DJ Dykes sack on first down, set that up.
Which was great scheme game planning from the Colorado coaching staff. But we got to give a lot of credit to this Colorado defense, because this is a very potent offensive attack from Kansas State, and they have held them in check in this first half.
Smith makes the fair catch at the 41-yard line. Timeout. 14-6 Colorado. 4:20 left in the first half. Colorado leading 14-6 in the second quarter. This week, the NFL on Fox returns when Frank Gore and the 49ers take on Eli Manning, and the first-place New York Giants for the Cowboys and Rams. Will Tony Romo start? Saints-Panthers or other regional action. Coverage begins with the Ford Drive 1 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at 11 Central, 10 Mountain and high def only on Fox. Let's go down to Alana Rizzo with tonight's Jack in the Box sideline report. Alana.
Yeah, thanks once again, Drew. You know, with the record that they have, a lot has been made for Colorado in terms of ineligibility and injuries for the way that they've performed. But senior center Daniel Sanders says, I'm not taking that excuse anymore. In fact, that's exactly what he said it was. Excuses for poor offensive performance. And it seems that his message has certainly gotten across with this team. He said we have to focus, and that is the only reason that we haven't been performing well. And it seems like he's gotten his message across today to these guys as they have the lead right now. Drew?
Well, Daniel Sanders, one of the leaders for the University of Colorado, but in fairness, when you lose two starters on the O-line, especially a young kid like Ryan Miller, who's going to be tremendous, it's going to take a while to make up for his loss. Hansen runs out of bounds after an advance of 3 or 4. Actually, he's going to get about 6 or 7 because of the walk-off. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Tyler Hansen. Now, Tyler Hansen comes from nice bloodlines. His dad was a quarterback at San Diego State in the late 70s, early 80s, and his mom was an All-American sprinter at San Diego State. And you can see he's got her wheels.
Absolutely. So Rick and Pamela, nice job for Tyler, giving him a nice athletic.
Here's Stewart making people miss. And the man known as Speedy has it across midfield to the 43 at K-State.
Drew, this is what opens up the running game. When you have a threat at quarterback that can make plays with their feet in this zone read attack, that's when they can't dedicate all their defensive scheme to stopping the run. And that's when a guy like Stewart is going to get loose, or a guy like Scott is going to get loose. That's what you saw right there. Good hold from the offensive line. And Stewart's able to move the chains for the Buffs.
Gear resets to the near side. And Hansen in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. Getting there is 53 Reggie Walker, and that's exactly what K-State needs. We also have a late flag. K-State, a defense that in the last 4 weeks has given up well over 2,000 yards,
that's
more than 500 each ball game in the last 4 weeks.
2 men in motion on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
You know, and defensively for K-State, they gave up.
Kansas State's declining it. 2nd down.
This defense gave up 300 yards rushing to Louisiana. Then they had Texas Tech to deal with, which is going to put up yards regardless. So that's obviously going to help a total like that. But I think what we've already seen here tonight and what we saw on tape a little bit is that they're just not quite fast enough, and they don't tackle quite well enough in order to get off the field on 3rd downs. I think that's been the key for Kansas State all year long.
Hansen throws a pick at the 40-yard line. Stepping in front was Joshua Moore. So Joshua Moore indeed does make a play for that K-State defense.
Yeah.
So Hansen euphoric a few moments ago. Not so much so now.
Not so much, and those are the mistakes of youth right there, because Moore had great position on Scotty McKnight on the sideline. Again, just rolling to your right. This is where you have to make a good decision. As you see, Moore is right in front of McKnight, and that's an easy pick for a veteran defensive back. That's one of those deals where in high school that ball is complete and it's a 1st down and you're a hero. But at this level, the guys are too fast, as you saw Moore close on that ball and intercepted on the sideline.
We'll see if Freeman can get Kansas State moving again. And he's got it complete to Banks. That's always a good option. Knocked off his feet by Jaleel Brown, but all the way to the Colorado 30, a pickup of 30 yards.
Great play call right after the interception. Freeman a little play fake, and then a big-time throw down the middle of the field. Banks is able to get it. The little guy going right down the hash. Freeman all kinds of time and great pocket presence. Able to deliver it for a strike.
Logan Dold on a weak side run. And he keeps his shoulders low, and he'll pick up about 2 or 3 where there wasn't much. Brandon Banks, just going back to when they were recruiting him, the coaching staff kept calling Ron Prince, his assistant, saying, Coach, we got somebody we like. He's not all that big. And Coach said, what do you mean not all that big? Like Deion Murphy, small? Because Deion's 5'10" and 170. He goes, well, no, not quite that big. He's a little smaller than that.
Not quite that big.
Yeah, not quite 5'10", 170. And here's a screen. He makes one man miss. Here's Banks across the 25 to the 23-yard line. You know, if you're Ron Prince, you got 2:25 left in the first half. You got a veteran quarterback who started since his true freshman year in Junior Freeman. And you say, all right, first quarter went well. Second quarter's not gone well. But we're 8 points down.
I know it, and I think that they've got to come away with points. And the last thing this offense wants to do is come away with a field goal attempt right here, regardless of if you knock it through and you get points out of it. I think they've got to get into the end zone just based on confidence, because this Buffalo defense has stopped them now several times. They've made them kick a field goal 3 times earlier in this game. Missed one of those, so they didn't come away with points, but I think it's a confidence issue at this time. I wouldn't be surprised right now to see them put the ball in Freeman's hands on the outside, get him outside of the pocket where he's got the ability to either run for this first down of 5 yards or throw for it. That puts a lot of pressure on the defense and especially the defensive secondary.
Passing yards heavily favoring Kansas State naturally, but the only touchdown, or I shouldn't say the only touchdown, one of the touchdowns for Colorado came in the air. Tyler Hansen 21 yards to Scotty McKnight. The other touchdown for Colorado, a 4-yard run by Rodney Stewart. So here we go, 3rd and 5. Colorado a zone blitz. The throw is off the mark to Deion Murphy, who sat down in the zone, and he was open. He was wide open for a first down. One of the few errant throws we've seen tonight from Josh Freeman.
And one of the few times all night that we've seen Josh Freeman get happy feet in the pocket. He wasn't able to stand tall. I mean, he's 6'6", 250 pounds. He's able to throw that ball almost like a handoff. But as we're going to see in the pocket, good push up the middle from CU, and he was falling away to his left. That's going to produce high and outside to the right in your throw, and that produced the incompletion.
Rossman from 42 yards. And he missed it. So after hitting his first 2, including a 53-yarder, Ron Prince looks on, and his senior kicker has missed his last 2.
And again, confidence issues right now creeping in for this K-State offense, and now the kicking game. And Rossman has been one of the more clutch players on this K-State team. Just pulls it.
And you know what? Prince went over. Rossman went by. He went over to talk to Tyson Hartman, who's his starting safety, strong safety, and the holder. He must have not thought that the hold was clean.
Something along those lines. You're absolutely correct, Drew, but a lot of times a kicker will overcorrect. Push the last one, now he goes ahead and hooks this one. This is wide left.
Hansen, this is designed to run again. He gets it out of bounds, plus 11. Clock stops, 2:10 left.
Good decision
before
here.
halftime.
Good decision to run out of bounds, but I'm fairly shocked that Cody's not in the ball game right now, because you need to run 2-minute offense. I don't know if Hansen can do that, especially after the last interception he threw. That was not a very good ball.
10 carries, 58 yards for Hansen. I was just going to say that to you. You're surprised Hawkins isn't in there. Here's a throw that is tapped away. The underneath man coming off coverage was Joshua Moore. He's a good-looking corner. 5'11", 185-pounder from Pompano Beach in Florida.
Very good reaction there from Moore, because they had a short route in front of him. We used to call that smash, when you run a hitch under the corner and a corner over the top. And he was able to defend both of them. He made the quarterback make the read to throw it up top, and then was able to react back and tip it away.
2nd and 10. K-State brings 4, and McKnight couldn't quite squeeze it. Pretty good coverage there by Courtney Herndon.
Coach Prince had nothing but good things to say about the strong safety Courtney Herndon earlier this week. He's already shown himself well here tonight. I wonder if this ball was tipped. Yes, it was. The linebacker, 47 right there, Alex Rebeck got his hand on that ball, was able to tip it away and help Courtney Herndon defend on that play. Now the young freshman's got a 3rd and 10 in his own territory.
And Hansen looks to run, and somehow he escapes. He's not going to get the first down, though. He's dropped at the 42-yard line for a moment. It looked like he was going to get 10 plus. So Colorado now is going to take time, and Kansas State, you figure, should burn one. They're just going to walk the clock down. I'm a little surprised K-State hasn't called timeout. Colorado's got to punt the football.
Yeah, with the amount of time that was on the clock, I'm a little surprised at that.
I don't get it.
Very.
You could have had a minute and a half plus with Josh Freeman in control.
I wonder if those missed kicks are creeping into Coach Prince's head right now, and he says to himself he doesn't want to leave time in order to get down there and miss a third and just wreck his kicker totally. But I think that's an interesting tactic right here.
I'd use a baseball analogy right now, and I'll tell you, as you well know, because you played minor league baseball for several years,
yeah.
If you're in a slump, you can't get out of it on the bench.
That's the truth.
And just missing 2, I wouldn't call that a slump. So anyhow, timeout, 1 minute even to go in the second quarter. Colorado ahead 14-6, and they're going to punt it to K-State. Sunday nights are TV's biggest night with the Sunday Sports Block. It all starts with the Best Damn Tough Man, followed by the official BCS rating show. Then it's Affliction Band, and finally it's King of the Cage, as Quentin Rampage Jackson shows why he's one of the most exciting and dominant fighters in the world. The Sunday Sports Block is 4 great shows in a row beginning tomorrow at 7 p.m. Well, we figured this one would be tight. Kansas State came in averaging 43+ points a game. You got to tip your hat to Colorado's defense so far. And Kansas State, to their credit, has played better defense for the most part tonight than we've seen through the first 6 weeks.
Definitely. You know, this was the 111th ranked defense when you're talking about total defense in the country, and they have played well, you know, and Colorado's got to get some semblance of a running game that's not Tyler Hansen in the second half if they want to continue to move the football.
Murphy wrapped up by the gunner at the 18-yard line.
Gardner McKay with a great tackle right there in the open field. That's one of the hardest things to do for a gunner, because one, you got to beat your guy off the line of scrimmage, then you got to time the punt and not run into the punt returner like we saw earlier in the game, and then wrap him up and tackle her. And remember, this is the most elusive guy on the other team. So all of that in one play, Gardner McKay does it very well.
And he's made a couple of special teams tackles and a couple of plays defensively. 50 seconds left for Josh Freeman from his own 17-yard line.
Got a bunch trips down here at the bottom of the bottom of your set.
And they'll throw backside on a slant, and that is low to number 5, Ernie Pierce. Josh Freeman, who started out whistling the football all over, has had a couple of errant throws here in the last couple of possessions, which is very much unlike the very poised and intelligent junior quarterback.
And it looks like now they're just going to go ahead and take a knee and take this one in for halftime. I think some of that was stripped by the pressure that Colorado was able to put on him in the pocket. You remember that the sack that Dykes got from his safety spot, sacking him inside the 5, and ever since that play, I've felt like Freeman has had some happy feet in the pocket. He's fallen away from his throws. When this kid stands tall and puts that 6'6" frame into his throw, he throws one of the prettiest footballs around. You've seen that down the middle of the field to Banks, and then now he's just a little bit hurried.
And he's had a couple of drops in his defense. So Kansas State, who under Ron Prince, who's in his 3rd year, Dan Hawkins is in his 3rd year, they've won the matchup with Colorado the first couple of seasons. But at halftime, Colorado will take it to the locker room up 14-6. There's 2 seconds left, and this is a smart play by Dan Hawkins. He's called timeout.
Absolutely.
Because he's going to force them to snap the football one more time.
And this ball's at the 13-yard line, so you go after this kick, you could possibly get a touchdown out of this if you block this punt.
Why punt it? I would take a step. I'd take 3 steps back and make sure the 2 seconds go off the clock, and then put the knee down.
That's risky.
It is. It's risky. Well, now they're putting 8 seconds on, so you're right. Now they're going to have to punt it. Originally, the clock said 2 seconds. They got it stopped evidently with 8, so they are going to have to punt the football.
Great decisions by the Colorado coaching staff right now. Because remember, you got a great returner in Josh Smith. He's already returned a kickoff for a touchdown this year in the first week against Colorado State. If you get any form of blocking, he can take it to the house, or you can go after this punt, force him to punt it, and then if you block this, all you got to do is fall on it, and you're in the end zone for a touchdown.
So some pressure on DJ Fulhag, the punter, and we always leave out the snapper.
Well, the offense is on the field now.
Man, look at this.
I don't know what we've got going on.
There's 8 seconds left, and now he's going to try to run around and kill the 8 seconds. And you know what? He did it. What a gamble by Ron Prince, and you can only make that gamble if you have a kid like Freeman. He rolls out, runs to the boundary, and then throws it high enough and far enough that the remaining 3 seconds, when he launched the football, evaporate from the clock.
That's some serious trust in your quarterback. You're exactly right.
Amazing. That could have cost him a field goal attempt. 14-6 at the break. Alana Rizzo is with Dan Hawkins.
All right, thanks very much, Drew Hawk. I know you're not a huge fan of the 2-quarterback system, but it has certainly worked for you guys tonight, and Tyler Hansen looks really good.
Yeah, you know, you got to do what you got to do to win the ball game, and Tyler's just so doggone athletic, and he can run around and make plays with his legs, and so that just kind of helps us in a lot of phases, and he's done a nice job, really has.
He's certainly working the offense. Defensively, you have to be pleased, too. Kansas State has driven down the field several times, yet you've held them to only 2 field goals.
Yeah, we've get a couple third down plays. You know, we got to be able to get those longer third down plays stopped, but in general, done okay. So see what happens second half.
All right, thanks so much. Good luck in the second half. Guys, back to you. Actually, that's the end of our first half here in Boulder with our score 14-6 Bucks. After the break, it's back to the Big 12 studios for highlights and scores from a busy day around college football. You're watching College Football Saturday, presented by Suzuki on FSN.
Halftime in Boulder, Colorado. And what a game we got going on here. 14-6, Colorado in control at halftime. Hi there and welcome into the College Football Saturday studios. This is your College Football Saturday halftime show. Rick Renner alongside the 2 Joneses, Corby and Pat, looking at the first half. Well, this is a game of survival right now.
If either one of these teams want to really get anything done, they better win this ball game. Kansas State's already faked a punt right out of the gate, so these guys are letting it all hang out.
You're right, Coach, but first quarter looked all Kansas State. But then along comes a kid named Tyler Hansen. We haven't seen this kid all year. Gets his first action. He's a true freshman. We've been seeing Matt Ballinger come in and play with Cody Hawkins all year, who's a straight drop back passer. This kid, Tyler Hansen, is a mobile guy. Creates plays with his feet, as you can see, and his first drive comes in the ball game and leads a touchdown drive. Goes 3 for 4, 47 yards in the first half, 10 carries, 59 rushing yards. This kid is the truth.
All right, guys, a lot more coming up. We'll have more highlights of other Big 12 action going on, and a huge one in Austin to talk about as well. Tech and a struggle in College Station. Highlights and more when we come back. We're at halftime in Boulder. Kansas State down 14-6 to Colorado. We'll get you back after the second half in just a moment. Other games in the Big 12 today. Number 5 Texas Tech in a fight with Texas A&M. We pick it up in the first quarter. The former president in the house. 3-0 Aggies from Graham Harrell. Rolling and finding Michael Crabtree for an 8-yard touchdown strike. 7-3 Texas Tech. But in the second quarter, the Aggies hanging in there. Mike Goodson goes in from 1 yard out, and A&M takes a 23-20 lead into the locker room at halftime on Mike Leach. But in the second half, Tech takes over. Harrell with all day finding Crabtree again. The Red Raiders win it. They're 7-0, best start in 32 years. Graham Harrell, first Tech quarterback to beat A&M 3 times. In Ames, Iowa, Nebraska all over Iowa State, who is looking for their first October win since 2005. They pick it up in the first quarter. No score. Joe Gantz, great day. Fakes the pitch, rolling to his left, avoids the pass rush, and hits Nate Swift. Swift with a nice day, 112 yards receiving. He gets in 7-0 Cornhuskers. We go to the second quarter, 7-0 Nebraska. Joe Gantz pitches right to Marlon Lucky, and Lucky goes 15 yards for the touchdown. He had 74 yards on the day. Later in the second, direct snap to Lucky, and he will barrel his way in from 4 yards out, 21-0 Nebraska at the half, and they get their first Big 12 win of the season. They beat Iowa State 35-7, snapping a 3-game losing streak. In Stillwater, the Big 12's top 2 rushing offenses combining in this one. Baylor and 10th-ranked Oklahoma State. And early on, it's Des Bryant putting on a show from Zach Robinson. Look at Bryant's catch there. He had 11 catches for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then Robinson with the jump ball again to Bryant. Oklahoma State rolls in this one to remain unbeaten, 34-6. They go to Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns next. And let's go storm into Norman. Number 6, Oklahoma, looking to bounce back from their Red River rivalry loss against 15th-ranked Kansas. Second half action, Jake Sharp goes up the middle, 17 yards for the score, 31-24 Oklahoma. Back comes OU as DeMarco Murray looking lively today, 7 yards in for the touchdown there, 38-24 OU. We go to the fourth quarter, more Sam Bradford. He had a big day. This one to Jimmy Stevens, 45-24 Oklahoma. One of OU's top receivers, Manny Johnson, left the game with an arm injury. It's not believed to be serious. He should play next week, says Bob Stoops. Next week on College Football Saturday, we got the Sooners at K-State at high noon. Then a Big 12 North showdown with the Buffs and Mizzou, followed by Southern Cal and Mike Stoops' Arizona. We will be back in a moment. Let's go to Austin, Texas, Missouri, and the Texas Longhorns, #1 in the country. Colt McCoy ready to go. Picking up in the first quarter, McCoy on the ground. And the Heisman Trophy candidate gets in there at 7-0 Texas. Then, after some great defense by the Longhorns, it's Chris Obadiah who takes it in from 9 yards. And the Horns have just scored again. They're now up 3 touchdowns in this ball game, in control of your Missouri Tigers, Corby. What is going on?
Hey, you know, last week Oklahoma State showed the blueprint for how to beat Missouri, particularly defensively, with splits or with blitzes, stunts, and getting pressure on Chase Daniel. This week, Texas isn't having to do any of that. They are just going out there and beating them one-on-one.
Are you surprised, Coach?
Well, nothing surprised you in this day and time. Corbin made a statement early on. Yeah, Oklahoma State kind of out-schemed them. Texas out-personnelling them. Texas is just playing better right now, and now Missouri's in a deep hole. It's going to be hard for them to get out.
All right, guys, we got second half action coming up. Colorado and Kansas State 14-6. Colorado in control. This one with a nice, young-looking quarterback. Enjoy the second half. We'll see you later here on Fox Sports.
Welcome back to College Football Saturday, presented by Suzuki. Boulder, Colorado, Folsom Field at halftime. The University of Colorado 14 and the Kansas State Wildcats 6. As Ralphie 4 or Ralphie 5, they use 2 Buffaloes here, makes its halftime run. I can't tell the difference between the two.
I can't either.
Yeah, back with Joel Klatt. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, we started the evening talking about 2 quarterbacks, Josh Freeman for Kansas State, Cody Hawkins for Colorado. Now we have to talk about Tyler Hansen. He's injected life into the Buffaloes, and they need to get Josh Freeman going for Kansas State again.
There's no doubt, and Hansen has really done 2 things. One, he's injected some life into that offense and that offensive line, plus opened some holes for Stewart because they've got to defend Hansen on the outside as well. If you're K-State, though, you got to stop dropping balls in the secondary because Josh Freeman's putting it on the money. He's using his legs to get open. Someone's got to give him some help in this second half.
Yeah, no question about it. But just an 8-point separation here at the break. Let's check in now with Alana Rizzo, who is with Ron Prince, the head coach of K-State.
Thanks very much, guys. All right, Coach Prince, what did you tell your guys at halftime? You're able to move the ball effectively down the field, but you had to settle for field goals.
Yeah, 2 made and 2 missed. That's a really big issue for us. Pretty good in the kicking game. Returns need to be better. I think our defense is doing a good job considering how much we're putting them out there. Obviously, if we play our best in the second half, I like our chances.
And part of that, too, is not making many mistakes, and you haven't done that in the first half. You've had pretty good ball control, and fundamentally, you guys have been pretty sound.
Yeah, we've had some drop passes and some things that were an opportunity. That was a big deal for us. We'll clean those up here in the second half.
All right, Coach, best of luck. Thank you for your time, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you very much. Colorado originally won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so they'll get the football. Our first half stats are brought to you by Volkswagen. We'll check them out after the kick. Rossman into the football. Josh Smith retreats, and 7 yards deep. He started to come out, but he forgot something, so he'll put his knee down. Now here is the Volkswagen first half numbers. Well, the rushing yards heavily favor Colorado. They wanted to run the football, and not surprisingly, Kansas State leading in the passing department.
Pretty evenly played game so far, especially in time of possession. You know, one team's obviously throwing it well, one team's rushing it well. A lot of that rushing for Colorado is due to Tyler Hansen, what he's able to do opening it up. But Josh Freeman would have a lot more yards and be a lot more efficient right now if Banks in particular were catching the ball in the secondary and some of those other wide receivers for K-State.
It is Hansen, not Hawkins. And he rolls, didn't have a man, and he is dropped at the 19-yard line. Making the tackle was Olu Hall, the junior from Fairfax, Virginia. First half possessions for Colorado. They moved the football well initially, but then they fumbled it. Stewart lost the football and was poked out of there, a punt, and then they had the 70-yard drive producing a touchdown. They missed a field goal, then a touchdown drive later on, also engineered by Tyler Hansen. That field goal they missed was blocked. A 48-yarder blocked. And on second down and 10, not much doing. It'll be 3rd and 10. And the last man up will be Alex Rebeck, a linebacker for Kansas State. So they're hanging tough defensively, and it had to be a busy half for Tim Tibesor, who's the defensive coordinator for Kansas State, because he had no idea, obviously, most people didn't, that Tyler Hansen was going to play.
It's a whole different game plan now defensively for Kansas State to stop this kid on the rushing game.
And here he is on 3rd down, looking to run. He's got to get to the 30, and he will. A first down. On a little zone read, a pickup at 12, but we have a flag down way back at the 6-yard line.
They're going to get Jake Behrens. He was blocking for about 10 seconds after the play. He was blocking the corner, Joshua Moore, way back at the 5-yard line.
After the play, personal foul, offense number 41, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, still first down.
That's a good news, bad news deal. The good news is for Colorado, they get to keep the rock. The bad news is they got to go back 15 yards.
I don't know if Behrens just didn't hear the whistle or what, but you know, when you're 25 yards behind the ball carrier, I don't think that you should be blocking. So poor decision there from a veteran fullback, and Jake Behrens, a junior. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. Gives this team some great blocking during the course of the game, especially in protection. That's why he's in there on 3rd downs, but just carried it a little too far.
And you heard Joel Klatt correctly. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. He's the first Nebraska signee at Colorado in 2 decades. Here's Hansen using his legs again. There may have been a hold on the edge, and there is a flag. Patrick Williams trying to block the corner, grab jersey, and Colorado's going to move back half the distance to the goal line.
You know, Blair Irvin was the corner on this side, trying to get away from Patrick Williams.
Holding, offense number 4, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
As we take a look, Hansen makes the correct read, but there's Williams, his hand on the outside of the pads. That's going to get called 100% of the time. The field judge and the line judge threw their flags on that one. And Pat knows better than that. He's a senior. He's been here for a long time. And every wide receiver coach in the country tells those wide receivers, hands inside, and then when the defensive back leaves, let go of him.
Hansen pressure coming, gets it to Gear out of the backfield, and Moore is a very sure tackler in space. Joshua Moore wraps up Gear after just a yard gain.
You know, this K-State defense is playing so much better than what we saw on tape all week, Drew. They're making a lot of tackles. They're not missing a lot of tackles. And their corners are playing very disciplined on the outside because Colorado's game is on the outside. They don't have that physical line that you can just pound up the middle. So they're on the outside a lot, and these corners, Blair and Moore, Irvin and Moore, are doing a great job.
You know, Ron Prince was saying we have to play better defense if we want to get to where we expect to be at the end of the season. Hansen has this one dropped. That is 33 Patrick Devaney, who had the football in his hands. Pretty good throw. It'll be 3rd down and about 19 yards to go.
Yeah, Patrick ran a good route right there. He's a former quarterback, actually came to the University of Colorado as a quarterback. And then the next year he moved to tight end. He's got a big frame, 6'3", 240 pounds. He runs well. Not able to haul that one in from Hansen. Hansen very accurate, especially on that crossing route. Drew, that's one of the hardest passes for a quarterback, to throw back to your left side and lead that receiver running across the field.
K-State's going to heat him up, and Sumler takes the football, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. So Colorado's going to have to punt from their own end zone. Kansas State with a little help from a couple of penalties against Colorado with a very good defensive stand to begin the 3rd quarter.
And that's exactly what they need, because now they're going to get this ball with great field position if they don't block it. Because remember, this team probably is going to come after this and be surprised to see someone close to the foot of Matt DeLallo.
They have 2 return men. They have Murphy and Banks out there, and DeLallo has a returnable kick from midfield. They fake the reverse. Here's Murphy across the 40 to the 35, and then a flag. In the area clipping.
I think that was Reggie Walker out there on the outside linebacker, and he got Daniel Dykes in the back. Dykes was in
during the run, illegal block in the back, return team number 53, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
The senior from Sacramento. Just got Dykes in the back. You can see the coaches, they don't like that so much, do they?
Even with the walk-off. Outstanding field position for K-State when we come back to Folsom Field. 14-6 Colorado. College Football Saturday is presented by Suzuki Quad Fair 08. Get the lowest financing of the year on Suzuki's full line of performance-driven ATVs. By Valero, the All-American gasoline for the great American highway. And by Sport Clips. Guys love sports. Guys get haircuts. Though I don't get them as frequently as I used to. What are you laughing at? 14-6 Colorado.
I wasn't going to touch that one. I was just going to let that one linger.
And my man Doug Marino up here, our floor director tonight, he doesn't get them at all. How about Texas? 28-0 over Missouri.
That seems for real. And their defense, that's what everyone was questioning at the beginning of the year, Drew, and that defense is playing some great football right now.
Young secondary stepped up. Here's Josh Freeman from the +46. Banks beats Walters, still going. Banks to the 29. He may not be real big, but he is a special talent with the football in his hands. 5'7", 142 pounds. Usually they fudge, they'll make him like 160. He's 142, that's it.
Straight up.
That's his 5th catch. Freeman with a dart complete to Mastrud, who takes a lick and goes to the 12-yard line. That was a strike from Josh Freeman to the tight end Mastrud, and Ryan Walters is shaken up.
This is a great throw by Freeman over the linebacker Smart. Throws a bullet And Ryan Walters, who has struggled with shoulder injuries in the past, I think he's got another one right here. This hopefully this is just a stinger and not a separation, but he's never afraid to stick his head in there. He's a fierce hitter from the safety position, but when you're going to a guy in Master that's over 250 pounds and 6'6", definitely at a disadvantage. Walters is 6-footer. He's only 205 pounds. Definitely looks like it's maybe just a stinger. That's a good sign for the Buffs.
Tough man, senior Ryan Walters, one of the captains for Colorado. Tomorrow night, be there live for the first show that breaks down the new BCS standings, the official BCS rating show. Find out who's moving up, who's moving out, and who's moving on towards a berth in a BCS bowl game. The official BCS rating show tomorrow at 8 p.m. With Joel Klatt and Alana Rizzo, I'm Drew Goodman. Early stages, quarter number 3. Colorado leading 14-6 over K-State. K-State with a first down from the Buffalo 13-yard line. Allstat lined up as an H-back. And Freeman trying to get Allstat out in a route. Now throws toward the back of the end zone. Pierce was the intended target, though I think Freeman was trying to throw that away. We have a flag down around the 7-yard line on the near side of the field.
Edward Prince was downfield, number 61. I think that's what they're going to get here.
Ineligible downfield, offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Joel Klatt, an aspiring official, evidently. That was good. You nailed that one.
Well, he was at the 5, so it wasn't that hard. Anybody that big at the 5-yard line, there's something wrong, right?
This guy comes from the Friday walkthroughs, where the big guys get to run one play.
Yeah.
He had flashback to the Friday walkthrough.
That's right.
Dole next to Freeman. They're going toward the student section. It gets loud there. Quarterback draw, Freeman right up the gut. End zone, touchdown, K-State. Boy, that thing parted like the Red Sea.
Nobody in the middle of the field for the Colorado defense. You got past the line of scrimmage, and it was touchdown the whole way. Freeman with some good speed, although I don't even know if he needed good speed on this one. Smart takes off. What a great design right there. The 2-3 techniques take off to the outside. The defensive lineman, and then Freeman alertly just takes it right up the gut for his 13th rushing touchdown on the season.
Well, Zach Kendall was supposed to block the Mike linebacker. The Mike linebacker ran out of there. He was chasing him just to get his block. Rossman kicks the extra point. If you're wondering why you don't go for 2, it's too early in the coach's handbook in the second half to go for 2. So K-State tacks on what is normally automatic. 14-13, so Kansas State, their defense set them up in great field position. And Freeman with his 13th rushing touchdown of the year. He had 4 last week in College Station against the Aggies at Kyle Field.
Now you think back early in this quarter, how big are those penalties early in the Colorado drive that put them way back inside the 20-yard line? That's what really set this Kansas State drive up, because they got great field position and then good play calling right after that, Drew. Right down the middle of the field to Mastrud, and then a great draw play for Freeman for the touchdown. Looked very easy for K-State. You know, Coach Prince in that post-halftime interview looked very confident. I think that they saw some things upstairs that they could exploit from the CU defense. I think we saw a couple of those right there.
Freeman, who's a very solid student, highly recruited kid out of the Kansas City area a few years ago. Kansas State has a nice tradition at the quarterback spot. Michael Bishop, Jonathan Beasley, Eli Roberson.
Lynn Dickey.
Yeah, Lynn Dickey going back a few years. Here's Josh Smith and Kansas State. Now, they're not only blocking kicks and punts this year, their coverage units are pretty good also. Now, Kansas State touchdowns. Well, he's one shy actually in terms of touchdown throws of Eli Roberson. But as just a junior, Freeman's going to rewrite the quarterback records at Kansas State. And we have a Colorado player still down.
He's climbing up the boards and everything. Before he's done this year, he's going to have the attempts record at the University of Kansas State. He's already completed more passes than anybody in school history. He's thrown for more yards, a couple more touchdown passes, and he'll have the touchdown record. So this is not a school that just started throwing the football, and there's been some good quarterbacks, Drew, like you alluded to, and Freeman's one of the best. That's why they talk about him probably being the best NFL prospect in this conference. And this is a conference loaded with quarterbacks. Chase Daniel, Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
You know, just to name a few. Todd Reesing, obviously.
Zach Robinson.
Zach Robinson could be second to Josh Freeman in terms of an NFL prospect. He's a young kid. Very impressed with what he did last week at Missouri on the road versus a top 5 team. Basically, you know, carried that OSU defense or offense.
Yeah, that's Josh Hardigan, who's limping off the field. Cody Hawkins back in there for Colorado from their own 18. Jonathan Stewart, the lone setback, and he gets it. And he scrambles for about 3 yards. Run out of bounds by Blair Irvin, I should say, excuse me.
This defense playing better for Kansas State in the second half. Being very disciplined on the edges. That's what you're seeing, especially from the corners. Irvin right there to tackle Stewart out of bounds. But I'm sure that's what Coach Prince was talking about at halftime in the locker room, was making sure you stay in your gap so that, you know, nothing opens up big and these running backs and quarterback for Colorado get loose.
Here's Smith. And this is well defended. Josh Moore. They trying to get the football to Smith. He's a home run hitter, not only in the passing game, but they'll usually run him a couple times a game, and he got just a couple of yards. So it's 3rd down and a long 4. And sending in the plays from the sideline are the 3 backup quarterbacks, 2, 3, and 4, actually 3, 4, and 5, if you will. One guy's live, the other 2 guys, and moms and dads, don't take this the wrong way at home, they're dummies. You know what I mean. They're not the live call guy, and Cody Hawkins is looking over there, and that's just so the opposition can't pick off the signals.
That's what you got to do if you're going to run a no huddle and a spread attack. So everyone except the offensive linemen are actually watching those signals. They understand who's live. And then Cody or whoever the quarterback is going to come up and give the live word to the linemen so that they know what they're doing, what protection or what run play.
And Hawkins going to give to Smith again. Smith turns it upfield. And there is number 4 once again, Joshua Moore. Boy, he's a good football player, isn't he?
He sure is. You know, you understand now why he was a freshman All Big 12 in 2006.
They've had some good DBs there through the years.
They absolutely has, going back to Terrence Newman. But Smith is a burner here on the outside. Moore takes on the block, although it was kind of a whiff block, and then is able to make the tackle on the outside, or else that's going to be a 1st down. So a nice tackle right there on the outside.
There's a little boot and a 1st down throw to Behrens, the fullback, out to the 43-yard line. So Jake Behrens with his 5th catch of the year.
You know, I see a more confident Cody Hawkins right now in the second half, Drew. You saw a 3rd down completion earlier in this drive, a slant pass to Cody Crawford that he really delivered well and was able to move the chains. And then now another 1st down completion to Behrens on the edge. That's what he needs right now, is a little confidence, and more importantly, the offense's confidence in him.
Behrens and Stewart. Hawkins changing the play, and he's going to move gear to the slot. And he overthrows Smith. Good coverage by Joshua Moore. Let's go downstairs, check in again with Alana Rizzo.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. Kansas State is looking for consecutive road wins for the first time since 2003, and Coach Prince told me that they've gone through a period of inconsistency for the last 4 years. He said, in order for us to be able to do this, we have to play good defensively on the road. He said, if we can consistently do that and continue to improve, we'll get to where we want to be. He said, a couple of road wins, it's going to be good, but it's not enough to win the league right now. It's way too early. We're just trying to get the win tonight. Drew?
All right, Alana. Kansas State defensively looking at a 2nd and 10, and they're going to throw Daryl Scott for a loss of about 3 yards.
Yeah, the strong safety, number 20, Courtney Herndon. He came in like a bullet from his safety position, was able to get through the line of scrimmage, tackle Scott for a loss. This guy has had a good year. He was the National Defensive Player of the Week back when they played Montana State. And here he comes getting lower than everybody, blowing up the play in the backfield. A tackle for a loss. That's a great play from a safety position from Courtney Herndon. Very physical player.
K-State showing blitz. They bring 5. It's protected, batted up in the air, and incomplete. That's happened to Cody Hawkins fairly frequently the last few weeks, and some of it has to do with protection breakdown, and the other part of it, quite honestly, is that he's 5'11".
Yeah, and the defense is going to practice all week when they play Colorado, getting their hands up, and they're able to do that. If you don't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. That's a great job right there in the middle of the line. And 53 Reggie Walker just laid a nice hit on Cody Hawkins in the backfield. Got to get to the quarterback and hurry their tempo up. Get their feet moving a little bit faster than they want them to move.
Matt DeLallo will punt. Here comes pressure, and they very nearly got to that. Murphy from the 22 gets a block. And Murphy run out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So pretty decent field position for K-State. A punt of just 37 yards, a return of 15. Kansas State with some momentum. 1-point affair. Tonight's toughest play of the game is brought to you by Polaris ATVs. Brandon Banks the catch, and the big hit by Jaleel Brown.
Yeah, the best part about this, the little guy gets up and says, yeah, I'm going to be here all night.
That's right. Do you know what? If he was playing 10-year-old football, he wouldn't be patched. You know how they put the patches on the kids away a little too much? Yeah. He wouldn't even be a double patch in a 10-year-old league.
150 is the cutoff.
Right.
He'd be a skill position player.
Right. He can handle the ball down there. He'd be pretty good down there, too. He's pretty good at this level. 1st and 10 for K-State at their own 36. Edge blitz coming, and the throw is a little early for Jaron Mastrud. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Good defense there from 47, Sean Moeller, the Will linebacker. I think they were blitzing Drew, and he was kind of sliding over into a new zone. Kind of fell into that play and fell into Jaron Mastrode. Freeman's got a little bit of rhythm going in this second half, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go down the middle of the field right here, try to get something in those intermediate zones with their 2 slot guys.
Banks and Murphy to the top. Pierce and Dold near side. Freeman going through his progression, and he comes off to Dold. Good coverage again by Moeller. Outstanding coverage for Greg Brown's secondary for the University of Colorado. Will be 3rd and 10. And Alana Rizzo has more. Alana?
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew. A couple of injury updates for you on the CU sideline. Ryan Walters did tweak his shoulder, as you and Joel suspected. He will return to the game. As far as inside linebacker Josh Hardigan goes, he has a sprained right ankle. His return is questionable, Drew.
Well, Walters is out there right now, and he's standing on the line of scrimmage to the top of your screen, number 15. 3rd and 10. Here comes the crowd. Here comes Walters, a free shot on Freeman, and he forces an early throw incomplete in the direction of Dion Murphy. And the coverage by Jimmy Smith, so 3 and out for K-State. And after a lot of success early on 3rd down, for Kansas State. They're 0 for their last 8.
Well, what they're doing on third down, Drew, is getting into that empty backfield. When you get into empty backfield on more than 3rd and 5, it allows them to pressure you, and you have to throw it short. That's what we're seeing right now in this game.
Oh, this is a bad punt. And it takes a Colorado bounce. We also have a flag down as the ball was down around the 39-yard line. Now, Ron Prince is an interesting guy. He's a voracious reader. In fact, he'll spend time handing out reading material to not only members of his coaching staff, but the players, other members of the football office at Kansas State. And he is very engaged, not just in the football activities of his players, but he's very involved in their academic progress. And they have made great strides there under
illegal block in the back.
First Bill
Return
Snyder,
team, number 21.
now
10-yard
Ron
penalty from the
Prince.
spot of the foul. First down.
I got to be honest, I don't understand how you can have a block in the back when no one received the punt.
Yeah, they'll walk it off, and it'll be a first down for Colorado at their 21-yard line.
They really need to get something going offensively. The last thing you want to do is put your defense back on the field. Although the defense has played well, that defense needs a breather. You need a couple first downs right now to keep them off the field, one, and to change this field position, because this second half has been played on one side of the field. That'll come back to bite you.
There's Tyler Hansen, the true freshman again, and he's going to run the football. That's what he's done very well tonight in his first collegiate action. The 8th true freshman to play this year for Colorado, the 22nd freshman to play overall. That is among the top 7 schools in the country in terms of playing freshmen this year.
You know, what's so hard about this style of offense is they can spread you out with 3 wide receivers, sit back there in the shotgun, but you're basically still in a big running set because you can run lead plays with your quarterback like we're seeing.
And here's Stewart out of the gate. And he's flipped at the 45. Ball comes loose. They're saying he was down. Both line judges saying he was down at the 45-yard line.
Tyson Hartman put a nice hit on Stewart at close to the 45 and flipped him end over end, and that's the only reason the ball came out, is because I think his upper body hit the ground first, his shoulder and his head. If this kid finds one seam like he does right here, he's gone, and he gets through there, and then Hartman's the last guy, goes under, and yeah, he kind of bounces on his head. That's why the ball comes loose.
He gets another carry, and this is strung out very well by K-State. Making the tackle, Reggie Walker. He's had an active ball game. And what did Ron Prince tell us a couple of days ago? He said, I need my outside linebackers to step up.
And they have tonight. I feel like Hall and Walker have played a heck of a game because, A, they're seeing things from Colorado they haven't seen on film. They have not seen Hansen, didn't know he was going to play. So this is a different style of game that's being played right now than what they prepared for. And those two guys, I feel like, have played very well.
K-State has tackled so much better this week than they tackled last week in College Station. Stewart to the 44-yard line. So after we brag on him, Stewart rips off a 13-yard run. He's over 100 yards for the 3rd time this year.
Great block on the outside of the line of scrimmage by Nate Solder, the left tackle for Colorado. He was able to seal this in, and as soon as he seals the in, that allows Stewart to bounce outside and get some more yards. Good blocking as well on the outside from the wide receiver position, but Solder, that's the key block of the play. He's a great player. He's only a sophomore. He's a little thin right now. As soon as he beefs up, he's going to be one of the best tackles that this university's ever seen.
And they also have Ryan Miller. Deep shot towards Smith, and it's incomplete.
Trying to take advantage of Smith's speed down the left sideline.
Ray Cheatham had good coverage, though.
He did.
He's a senior from El Dorado, Arkansas.
What he did well, Drew, is push Smith to the sideline, because if Smith is able to get by him early and then stay away from the sideline. That allows the quarterback to kind of drop it over his shoulder. But when Smith is running right on those hash marks, it makes it a tough throw for the quarterback.
And here's Scott for a couple of yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and 8. Colorado will need the 35-yard line. Kansas State has won only 5 times through the years in Boulder. Now, they won 2 years ago here behind Josh Freeman, who was 22 of 26 in that ball game in his freshman season. 2 receivers to the top. 1 to the near side, Cody Crawford. And they're going to give it again to Scott, and he doesn't get anything.
You know, this is the trap that Colorado is falling under right now, because when you've got this true freshman out there, you don't have your whole playbook at your disposal. So on a play, on a situation like 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, you know, you've got a limited amount of plays that you can call because Cody Hawkins is not in the ball game. And we're seeing that come to fruition right now on these 3rd downs for Colorado. If Hansen isn't able to do it with his feet, they don't really have enough in the passing game for him to really execute on 3rd down.
DeLallo to punt. Murphy inside his own 10. And he calls for a fair catch about the 11-yard line. That's one that the point was down. Those are harder to field than when the ball actually turns over.
Yeah, absolutely.
14-13 Colorado. 3:46 left in the 3rd. Holiday Inn Express brings us the USA Today coaches poll. Texas looks like they'll remain #1. They're beating up the University of Missouri. It's 34-0. 34-3, I've just been told. In that ball game, Bama's unbeaten. Penn State and Jopa, 3rd in the nation. Freeman, 3-step drop, and he's got it complete to Quarles on a quick out.
You know, even though that last drive for CU didn't result in any points, I think that it was a successful drive because it changed the field position and allowed this defense to get a little rest. Now let's see if Kansas State can come out and answer and put together a drive of their own. They've been moving the football well in this game. They just haven't necessarily gotten it into the end zone, and they've missed a kick, which really hurt them. 2 kicks, actually.
They're going to run Dold here. And Dold into the secondary. 1st down yardage to the 25. Follows his blocks well. Logan Dold playing because Lamarck Brown has a staph infection. He's not even on the trip. Didn't play last week. And Dold, in his first career start last week, ran for 115 and a touchdown against the Aggies.
Yeah, that was a good block inside by Jordan Bador, the center. He's a captain. He's on the Remington watch list. Open and hold for the true freshman who ran for 115 against A&M last week.
And a pickup of 7 on that strike to Brett Allstat, a senior from Hayes, Kansas. That's just his 4th catch this year.
I see Freeman in a little bit more of a rhythm. Late in that first half, I thought that CU was making him hurry. He wasn't in rhythm. Right now we're seeing him throw the ball on time and very accurately.
Here's Dole, the design cutback, and he gets another 1st down to about the 37-yard line. So they move the chains again for K-State with 2:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. 14-13 Colorado. Alana Rizzo, what do you have?
Well, Drew, you know what, Coach Prince, it's obvious that Josh Freeman's a special player, but Coach Prince said that it's really unusual how much this team relies on him. He has a major impact on the game each week, and he was one of the first players that Coach Prince recruited at K-State when he got there. He said he's not a negative leader at all. He leads by example, and he said he'll pull kids aside and give them advice, but he certainly would never demean anybody. He really is only playing in his 3rd year because he was started halfway through the season, the first season that he did play. He's one of the, obviously the Big 12 stacked with quarterbacks. He doesn't get as much credit as he should just because of the way Kansas State has played this season, Drew.
He's a tremendous player, and he's a tremendous young man. Dold with nice feel on that run, picks up a dozen. Another first down for the Wildcats. And Dold lowers his pad level. This is a kid in Logan Dold, 6 foot, just under 200 pounds, from Garden Plain, Texas, or Kansas, I should say, who rushed for almost 2,400 yards his senior year, over 7,000 yards in his high school career. And he was recruited by some schools as a running back, but by many schools as a safety.
Well, he can definitely tote the rock. He's proven that tonight. Made a few really nice runs on this drive.
He runs 100 meters in under 11 seconds. So if he gets in the open field, he can go a little bit. Mastrud takes a lick and takes 2 or 3 to bring him down. Tackled by B.J. Beatty from Honolulu.
This is a situation where Colorado has had success blitzing Kansas State, especially when they go empty. I'm interested to see if that continues. Kansas State does have a back in the backfield right now, but Brad Jones, number 40, Colorado's best pass rusher, is going to be going against Nick Stringer right down here on the right side of the offense.
Freeman, and the pass was broken up. It'll be 4th down. He was trying to get it to Banks, and good coverage by Chappelle Brown. That's that matchup you talked about a couple hours ago.
Well, you've seen them try to exploit it early in this game, sending Banks down the hash mark. Now they're trying the corner route. Chappelle Brown is in straight man-to-man, and right the last second, great job turning to the football and able to bat it down. Banks can't come back to it. That ball needs to be thrown a little bit further. It's one of the first times Freeman's been a little inaccurate down the field tonight.
Smith, no fair catch, 20-yard line, and he's going to go backwards. Three seconds left in the third quarter, a punt of 30. And a return of -1.
Hansen looks like he's going to continue to take the snaps here, but I think that if Colorado wants to score, it needs to go to that tandem like we saw earlier in the game, Drew, because on 3rd down, it's very apparent that Colorado doesn't have the playbook at their disposal that they need to convert those 3rd downs.
Hansen looking for an option, and a nice grab by Behrens.
Boy, the guy known for his blocking flashes some great hands right there and gets a foot in bounds. Hansen stretches the play out, buys himself some time on the outside, and then a great touch pass over the top to Behrens. And Behrens, what a sensational job staying in bounds for a 1st down.
That'll be the final play of the 3rd quarter. One chapter left in Boulder. Colorado 14, K-State 13. Back in Boulder, 15 minutes left in regulation. Colorado 14, Kansas State 13. Drew Goodman, Joel Klatt, Alana Rizzo. Colorado with the football, a 1st down at their own 33-yard line. These two defenses tonight have played maybe their best games of the year. Tyler Hansen, a true freshman quarterback, seeing his first action of the year tonight, and he hands to Stewart. And the man known as Speedy goes for a dozen yards. Now well over 100 yards rushing in the game, and Hansen is not far off from 100 yards as well. Tonight's Bass Pro Shops catch of the game. Well, a moment ago, final snap in the 3rd quarter. Jake Behrens, who's blocking, goes to help out his quarterback, and he makes a terrific catch. Our Bass Pro Shop catch of the game.
Big guy showing some agility. You know Dan Hawkins loves that as a former fullback.
Wait, he was chasing him down the field. He made a great run in practice on Tuesday. He blew up a DB and ran for a mythical touchdown in practice.
Right.
And Dan Hawkins is the first guy down there celebrating with him. He goes, "Way to go, fullback!"
Yeah, Sean, hey, fullback.
There's Behrens.
They don't get as much credit as they deserve because a guy like Behrens is a terrific blocker. He does a lot of things for this Colorado team, especially in protection. So it's good to see a head coach give those guys some love.
Fake to Sumler, throw it in the flat, and it's complete across midfield to Ryer Gear. That'll set up 3rd down and about 3 or 4. I always like looking at the fullback's helmet because it looks like the 4-year-old took crayons
That's
to it.
right. That's right. Let's just say I don't envy those guys. I'd rather have the clean helmet.
It's like having Volkswagens collide, you know, running ISOs for 60 minutes.
They don't go that fast, but they run into each other top speed.
Yeah. Big play here for both schools. 3rd and 4. Here's Hansen on the zone read, and with that second effort, he gets a 1st down. And the student section, they stand the whole game. They're loving the play of Tyler Hansen so far in this game.
Yeah, he got a great block on that left edge. I believe that was Solder or maybe Behrens out there. I think it was Behrens. Could have been a hold, but Hansen right here, I don't think he's got the 1st down, and then the dive forward. Got to understand where the chains are at. Sometimes young players don't understand those little nuances of the games, but obviously Hansen does, able to move the chains for Colorado.
Stewart darts for 8 or 9. Well, Hansen has 87 yards rushing, and Stewart after that carry has 123.
You know, we shouldn't be too surprised because in 2 straight games against Louisville and Louisiana Lafayette, this Kansas State defense gave up 300 yards rushing to both of those schools. So there's definitely places where you can exploit Kansas State defensively on the ground.
Colorado came in 97th in the country in rushing, just 115 yards a game. And in this game, they have 230. So they've doubled up what they've been averaging in 4 quarters, basically in 3.
And that's even more than they had against West Virginia. They had 180 some odd that night against West Virginia, and Stewart set the freshman record with 166 yards, most by a CU freshman of all time.
And Stewart gets it again, and somehow I believe he got a 1st down.
I think that they're going to mark him a couple yards short. I think he stepped out. Yeah, that's where they're going to mark it here. So,
man, is he ever quick.
And that's what Colorado needed in the backfield, is because a lot of times with inexperience and injuries, you're going to have guys in the backfield just like that. Stewart gives them the elusiveness in order to sidestep a blocker and then get some positive yards or get back to the line of scrimmage. That's a huge asset as a running back, and really what you need to have in there when your offensive line is banged up. That's why you don't see a guy like Scott in there every play.
4th and 1, Colorado is going to go for it. Hansen has a man and a great catch by Scotty McKnight for a 1st down. He has the stickiest fingers of the Colorado receivers. And that was a tremendous catch by McKnight, who was in the end zone in the 1st half.
Because the coverage was not bad from Tyson Hartman, the free safety, number 2 from Kansas State. Freshman leads him a little bit too much, but I love going to the experienced wide receiver, the guy that you know can catch the football on 4th down. I love that call, getting the guy like McKnight the ball in a crucial situation.
Hansen will get bottled up. I'll tell you what, Ian Campbell did a marvelous job. You're talking about a big man in space against a nimble quarterback.
Exactly.
Played by Campbell.
This guy was a defensive player of the year at one point in his career, but when we go back to Scotty McKnight's catch, his ball's way out in front of him, and he's going to extend, and a great grab reins it in with the left hand, almost one-handed, able to secure it for a first down. That was a huge first down right there, because I don't know if obviously they didn't want to attempt a field goal, but you're going to give Kansas State the ball with some good field position if you don't convert in that situation.
Hansen, late throw into coverage, and Moore almost picked it off, though he would have been out of bounds. Smith the intended target, and that'll set up 3rd down and 10.
Boy, this Josh Moore is only a sophomore. He's got a lot of football to play in his college career, and he is already a sensational player. He's made some great plays tonight in the run game for Kansas State, and now defensively defending the pass, getting up, knocking Josh Smith out of the way. Good defense right there. You know, much maligned defense, this Kansas State defense, but Drew, they have played exceptionally well tonight versus this Colorado offense.
They'll try to get off the field here on 3rd and 10, and they will. Nice pursuit. The linebacker making the play is Ula Pomeli, the junior from Santa Rosa, California. And that'll bring up 4th down. And now you'll have a long field goal attempt. And not only is it dicey because of the length, but because of the pressure Kansas State puts on kickers and punters. They've already blocked one of Eric Goodman's tonight.
Yep, watch the middle of this line. Ian Campbell's in there. He blocked one already.
And this one is going to go wide right. So Kansas State turns him away, and the first guy greeting the special teams unit, Ron Prince, he was 15 yards out onto the field. 14-13, timeout Boulder. 9:21 remaining in the 4th quarter, 14-13 Colorado. Tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday returns as we sit down with Saints quarterback Drew Brees to discuss his success this season, how he plans to get New Orleans back on top in the NFC South. Plus, Jimmy Johnson explains what the Cowboys need to do while Tony Romo is banged up to keep pace in the NFC East. It's all on the 4 Drive 1 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show tomorrow, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, only on Fox. Drew Goodman, Joel Klatt, Alana Rizzo. First down for K-State at their own 30-yard line, trailing by a point. Freeman under heat, somehow escapes. He'll have a first down and more. A 24-yard scramble by Freeman. How good was that?
That was unbelievable. That was a little Houdini act in the pocket. That pocket collapsed very quickly. Some good coverage in the back end for Colorado. Freeman's able to get out of there. Again, Brad Jones, best pass rusher for Colorado, comes on the outside. Ryan Walters has a chance at Freeman. This kid has some great athletic ability, even though he's so big. I can almost hear the NFL team salivating right now. They're thinking, I hope that this kid comes out early.
Folks, it bears repeating. You couldn't tell by how nimble he was there as open field moves. He's 6'6", 250 pounds. And he's got all day to throw into coverage. Quarles had his hands on the football and dropped it. The safety was closing quickly. We have 2 flags down in the backfield.
Good arm strength there from Freeman, but I think they're going to get a hold.
Holding. Offense, number 61, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's why he had so much time.
You know, this pass rush from Colorado has been good tonight. Prince, another penalty on him. He's a junior, 6'5", 290 pounds from Mississippi, from Starkville, Mississippi. He's been having to go up against Brad Jones. And remember, Brad Jones is a linebacker that drops down in the nickel situations. He almost is always on the line of scrimmage because Kansas State is in 3 wide receivers. That's a tough order for a big offensive tackle to block a guy that's 230 pounds and can run.
1st and 20 after the walk-off. Freeman has a screen to Dold. And Dold gets the 10 yards back, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Jeff Smart eventually brought him down.
I like that play call from Kansas State because it's conservative. You know what you're going to get. You're running it to the short side of the field. Plus, you're basically cutting it in and cutting your distance in half. A lot of times, people try to dip into the playbook and try to get the first down all at once, when really you just need to start cutting things in half, and then all of a sudden you're going to find yourself with a manageable 3rd and 5 rather than 3rd and 12 or 15.
Dave Brock calls the plays for Kansas State. Here's a QB draw. And what'd you say about 3rd and 5? Well, they'll probably have about 3rd and 6. But again, with that screen pass on 1st and 20, it gave them an opportunity to get back on schedule.
Yeah, because that's on 2nd and 10, you've got everything at your disposal as far as playbook goes. You can run your quarterback draw, get yourself into a manageable situation here. You got 3rd and 7. You know, Colorado has had success blitzing on 3rd down, running man coverage. That can come back to bite you if you get anybody deep, especially a guy like Banks. He's manned up right now with Chappelle Brown in the slot.
Looks like man-free coverage. Dold in the flat, and that is incomplete. So it'll be 4th down from the Colorado 45. Freeman looking to Coach Prince, and they'll send the punt unit out.
Good defense there from Colorado. I like the fact that they continue to put pressure on this Kansas State offense on 3rd down. What that does for you is it makes the quarterback throw to their hot receiver, which is usually a short route. You're putting the ball in the hands of the receiver rather than Freeman. Freeman's their best player. I like that plan from Colorado.
Oh, for their last 10 on 3rd down. Short punt. And Smith will get it above the 20 to the 22-yard line. So just 23 yards on the net. A punt of 30 yards. Another timeout. 7:09 left in the 4th. 14-13 Colorado. Spectacular night in the beautiful state of Colorado. The Buffaloes 14, the Wildcats 13. Tonight's hardest working player is brought to you by the Polaris Ranger. Rodney Stewart, 123 yards rushing for the true freshman from Westerville, Ohio. His 3rd 100-yard rushing day of 2008. And his first career touchdown in the first half, 4 yards out.
Got to give credit to this young offensive line. You know, that was the group that all the questions were about in the minds of the coaching staff for Colorado. They've played fairly well here tonight.
Stewart gets the rock. And he's got about 5 yards on 1st down. Prior to that carry, Joel, how about this? Kansas State, 310 yards of offense. Colorado, 313 yards.
I'll tell you, it's been a fantastic game. It really has. Both teams have unsuccessfully, missed 2 kicks. 1 block for Colorado, 1 miss, 2 misses for Kansas State. Some big plays in the special teams. Got a quarterback change for Colorado. Both defenses playing extremely well.
Here's Scott. And man, he got beaten up. Brandon Harold finished it off, but the first man in the hole was Hanson Sakona, the junior. He's used to a crowd. He's the youngest of 10 kids.
And you know how to be aggressive. California. You know how to be aggressive if you're the youngest of 10.
Yeah, if you want some food.
You want some food or anything. The remote control.
6 carries, just 11 yards for Scott. 3rd down. Colorado needs the 33. Hanson's throw is wide of Scotty McKnight. It'll be 4th down. So K-State's defense does the job, and you start to look at the clock now. 5:51 left. Rossman in the game has a 53-yard field goal, though, as Joel mentioned, he's missed 2. He's 2 for 4.
This is one of those ball games where inside of 5 minutes it's a big special teams play or a blocked kick per se. Kansas State is great. It looks like they're coming after this one.
DeLallo gets it out of there, and Murphy catches it in traffic. Good field position north of the 40-yard line. Kansas State with the football at their own 41, a punt of 32 yards. Freeman will have it when we come back to Boulder. 1-point ball game. College Football Saturday is presented by Suzuki. Quad Fair 2008 is here. Get the best deals and lowest financing of the year on Suzuki's full line of performance-driven ATVs. Visit your local dealer today. And by Whataburger, just like you like it. Back at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado leading Kansas State 14-13. The Buffs at 3-3 coming in. The Wildcats at 4-2 coming in. Josh Freeman and K-State from their own 41, first down. Short drop, and Pierce with his first catch of the evening. Flip side of the 50 to the 42 of Colorado. Ernie Pierce from National City, California, senior, big target. He's 6'4". Pickup of 16.
And you need a big target when you're going to throw that type of ball, a fade route, but it's a back shoulder throw. He's not throwing it down the field, throws it a lot sooner. Great throw from Freeman on the back shoulder of Pierce. Pierce able to make the adjustment and bring it down.
Three-step drop in the flat. This is Allstat, and he goes for 9. He lost the football late. They're going to give it to Colorado. This one may be reviewed. Did it come out or did the ground force the fumble?
He was definitely spun around there along the sideline. A couple Buffs over there putting a nice hit on Allstat. Brad Jones along with Chappelle Brown. Ball is definitely out. Ryan Walters able to recover that, or was Walters touching the out of bounds when he was actually touching the ball? That could be something that's also reviewed. No, he was in bounds. Brad Jones, great hustle and pursuit from his inside position there on the defensive end. He's able to jar that ball loose. Turnovers huge in a game like this. This one is going to be reviewed. I think it's going to stay with Colorado, but Cody Hawkins, Drew, back on the field. I think I like this move because, again, I've kind of harped on this. Hansen provided that spark. He's great intermediately, but they need the playbook at their hands. Take another look. The ball is definitely out.
The ball's definitely out. Is Walters, his whole body has to be in bounds, securing the football.
I think it is.
It looks like it is from that angle. The only question is his far shoulder pad, his left shoulder pad, is that at all on the white line? And from that angle, you can't tell, so you're not going to reverse it based on that angle. I think Colorado's going to end up with the football. I agree with you. One more, you talk about Cody Hawkins coming in here. We're going to look at another play or another angle of it.
Ball's definitely out.
First down.
And they made the announcement. Tom Walker. Colorado holds on to the football. I like the move going to Cody Hawkins because he goes up to the line of scrimmage and he can get you out of a bad play.
Absolutely.
With Tyler Hansen, it's pretty much call it and run it.
And that's tough to do in the Big 12, especially, I've been harping on this also, when your offensive line is banged up. Sometimes they've got 8 and 9 in the box like they do right here, and you've got to change the play.
Stewart is going to lose yardage. Coming up from his strong safety spot, Courtney Herndon made contact first, and then Pomelli finished it off, a loss of a couple.
If you're going to get big and go 2 tight ends and a fullback, 22 personnel, motion another fullback. Don't know if Rodney Stewart is your best guy in that scenario. I think Sumler, a little bigger back if you want to pound it a little bit, but this is the set where Stewart is going to shine right now, in the shotgun set where he can make somebody miss, find a crease, and then get you some yards.
Cody's doing a good job working clock right now. They snap it with about 3 seconds, and here's Stewart trying to cut back, and he's dragged down. He loses about 3 more. 99 Brandon Harold. What a find for the Kansas State coaching staff. Harold, 6'6", 265-pound, end from East St. Louis.
Harold is a midseason freshman All-American. This kid has been absolutely sensational for Kansas State. You see his length right there. Even a speedy guy like Speedy can't get away from him because he's got those long arms, wraps him up, and is able to get him to the ground. Great find for Kansas staff and Ron Prince in this Kansas State. And Ron Prince finding this guy from St. Louis. He was also the St. Louis Area Defensive Player of the Year.
Colorado calls timeout. They had 3rd and 15. They went empty. They had trips to the near side. And then a late timeout was called.
You know, when you're talking about tackles for losses like Harold just produced on that last play, tackling Stewart behind the line of scrimmage, when it comes to NCAA in the country, he leads all freshmen. First in the country.
Pretty impressive.
Player.
We'll step aside. 3:48 left. 14-13 Colorado. We've been locked up at 14-13 for a while. 4th quarter, 3:48 left. Kansas State on defense. They have Colorado backed up 3rd and 15. Tonight's game summary brought to you by Yamaha. Tyler Hansen's first action as a collegiate, true freshman, has been very good, particularly with his feet. Rodney Stewart over 100. Here's 3rd and 15. And Cody Hawkins complete midfield, first down yardage to Josh Smith. No flags. What a play.
Unbelievable play. Now we got 3:43 in this game. That was essential that you move the chains. You just don't think you're going to do it on a 3rd and 15. Rolling to his right, Cody puts this ball perfectly on the outside. Smith is able to adjust and get his foot down. Great confident throw from Cody. That's what I like so much about this kid. He's basically sat the whole second half, Drew. He comes right in and throws a huge 3rd down ball to Josh Smith to move the chains.
And how about Josh Smith? His first catch of the ball game late in the 4th quarter, 22 yards and a huge first down. Stewart can't spin out of that tackle. Again, it's Pomelli. Also Alex Rebeck around the football. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You know, this is not just to have access to all your playbook why Cody Hawkins is in. There's a situation in football called 4-minute offense. It's a situation where you have the lead and you have got to drain the clock, and you've got to understand how to run that 4-minute offense. You're going to run the football. You're going to sit at the line of scrimmage for an extended period of time and try to let the play clock dwindle down. I think Cody gives you the best chance to do that.
Gear crosses in motion, and it's a counter to Stewart, and he's going to get to the 41-yard line. Shy of a first down by about 3 yards.
Yeah, Barron's had a great block on the outside.
Timeout Kansas State. That's their first.
This is a little counter tray action. You're going to get Stewart on the outside, and Barron's a great block, getting the defensive back down onto the ground, able to cut him. That's what you want to do if you're a fullback, because if you try to go high, those guys are going to just dip and dodge you and able to make the tackle. You go low, you take their feet out from them. They're not able to make the tackle. Stewart able to pick up about 3 or 4 more yards because of that good block by Jake Barron's.
So another big 3rd down. This one's a little different for Colorado. Instead of 3rd and 15, it's 3rd and 3. Here's tonight's Whataburger. What a play. Tyler Hansen.
He's had just a terrific night for a debut by a true freshman. There's not many kids that can come out of high school and have the type of moxie and presence to come in here in a Big 12 situation and give a spark to a team like Colorado. Hansen has done that tonight. I think he's the reason why Stewart has had such a big night. So he's not only provided a spark, but he's kind of the MVP of the offense right now, because he's provided that width to the formation that has allowed Stewart to be so successful.
3rd and 3, and Stewart runs through the tackle and gets the first down. Pomelli had him about a yard short of the first down, and Stewart ran through it, and they moved the sticks again for Colorado. And now the clock is a huge ally
absolutely.
of the Buffaloes.
That's what I was just saying. Any first down inside of 3 minutes, you know that you can at least drain a minute and a half or two, Drew, off the clock right now in your 4-minute offense situation. This is going to start to force Kansas State's hand. They're going to have to start taking their timeouts in order to stop this clock. Huge, huge carry by Stewart.
Stewart, a little cutback, gets a yard perhaps. He's got 136 yards rushing in this ball game, and K-State calls their second timeout. To Colorado's credit, you have a game plan every week naturally, and sometimes you execute it and sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
They came in, they said, we're going to run the football at Kansas State, and they have. Kansas State has only given up 2 touchdowns, so K-State's done some good things on defense for a team that has been much maligned, particularly the last month.
Especially against the run. You know, Louisville and University of Louisiana Lafayette both had 300 yards rushing against this team, so you know that they were working on that, especially coming into a game like Colorado, when they knew that that was really Colorado's only chance was to really pound the football with Rodney Stewart. So they played great defense. You gotta, I mean, there's been some great efforts all around tonight. This young offensive line for Colorado has done a great job as well, protecting the passer when need be on 3rd down, as well as opening up some holes for these rushers in the 4-minute offense, allowing them to continually to run this clock out.
They'll go out of the gun here on 2nd and 9. Stewart gets about 5 yards. You know, originally the scoreboard showed 1 timeout left for K-State. And one scoreboard still does, one does not. They have 1 left. Here's that counter to Stewart. They have it strung out, and Stewart is tackled around the neck for about a 2-yard loss. That was a great play, perhaps a game-saving play by John Hulick, the junior linebacker from Wichita. He doesn't make that play. Stewart's got the first down. It's game, set, and match.
Yeah, they try to come back to this counter. It looks like they've got it. Behrens is sealing off Herndon out there. But then Hulick, with a great effort, able to string the play out, get Stewart down to the ground. If you're wondering why K-State wasn't taking their timeout before that play, well, this is the reason, because if you stop them on 3rd down, you need to stop the clock, force them to kick this field goal or force their hand, whatever Colorado's going to do.
Now, it's an interesting decision for Coach Hawkins in that long field goal. Goodman's missed his last 6, not just tonight, dating back the last couple of weeks. They block kicks, talking about K-State, with great regularity. You get a block and a return. He may,
I think he might just go for this,
He may go for it.
You know, if you're going to throw the football here, remember, if you're throwing it inside the 20, Kansas State doesn't want to pick that ball off because he's going to throw it regardless. You can't take a sack if you're Cody Hawkins.
It's 4th down and 4. They need the 27-yard line. He may look toward McKnight. That's his man. And he looked toward Smith. Good coverage. And Kansas State will get the football with 59 seconds left out at the 31-yard line. They need only a field goal. It's a 1-point game.
And you've got the best quarterback in the league about to trot onto the field as far as your prototype pocket passer. They've had some success all day long up the middle of the field, Drew. As we look at this 4th down play, Smith got held a little bit. It wasn't called. He was trying to get outside on a little snag route. Wasn't able to break outside. But now the stage is set. You got a great offensive quarterback against a defense that has played very well tonight.
For a legit shot, you need 35 yards. Penalty flags, this is no play. We have a false start. So instead of 35 yards for a decent shot.
False start. Offense, number 28. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
They're going to need about 40. That's the second time the true freshman Logan Dold has started a smidgen early.
Colorado was bringing the same pressure, although Freeman got the ball off. They were trying to bring Dykes in that B gap like we saw earlier when they sacked Freeman. I expect CU not to just sit back here. I expect some pressure out of them, especially from Brad Jones, top of your screen, best rusher on the field.
Freeman, he's in trouble, and he's going to throw it away. So it'll be second down and 15, but more importantly, there's 52 seconds left. Brooks Rossman, the senior kicker for Kansas State, kicked a 53-yarder earlier today. That's his career long.
Rossman was an all Big 12 selection last year. It's been fairly automatic for this Kansas State team.
We need to get it to about the 35-yard line of Colorado.
You would think, yeah, absolutely.
And Freeman on a check down will get about 5 yards to his tight end, Mastrud. And now the down is important. It's 3rd and 10.
You still feel like you've got to work the sidelines, because remember, Kansas State does not have any more timeouts left.
Well, you get the mark of the football if you get a first down.
You do, which helps you. But on 3rd down, you got to make sure you're past that first down marker or close to the sidelines to stop this clock.
Banks in the slot to the near side. He's been the go-to man for Freeman. Looking that direction, instead he goes to Mastrud, short of the first down. It's 4th and 1.
And there was your problem right there. You got to make sure you're in front of the sticks, or else you got to hurry up right now. You got guys running around trying to find where they're supposed to be. A lot of time wasted on this play.
You got 3 guys in the A gap trying to prevent Freeman from taking it himself. Freeman can run for it. He's got to run for it, and now a holding penalty. It's got to be a hold. It was thrown by the umpire, and that's what he looks for. It came in very late.
I think the inside, Brad.
Holding. Offense, number 59. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Zach Kendall, the sophomore, I believe he was holding. Yeah, you see he's basically tackling Mo Lucas right there, number 91. You can't wrap a defensive lineman like that. That's going to get called every time, but what it does do.
Basically what you need 11 yards to keep the ball. There's 16 seconds left. And then you're going to need some sort of
and the clock is running. I don't know if Josh knows that. The clock is running.
Yeah, they restarted. He doesn't know it. This is going to be the last snap. Nearly complete, but that's the ball game. Dropped by Banks. Colorado wins it 14-13. No flags down. 14-13 Colorado. The Buffs end their 3-game slide as Ron Prince and Dan Hawkins meet. 2 gentlemen who have great respect for one another. Colorado's now 4-3. Kansas State 4-2 in their last couple of seasons. They looked at this as a swing game. They fall to 4-3 in the competitive North Division of the Big 12.
That was really a great football team. Those teams knew how important this game was. They knew that they had to win this game. In all actuality, I think that the winner of this game has a much better chance to go to a bowl game. Colorado's got a couple more winnable games to get to that 6-win mark. It's going to be tough for Kansas State. They've got Nebraska and Iowa State later this season, but right now they go on a kind of a 3-game tilt versus Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas. All very tough games. Not saying they can't win those games, but it'll be tougher for Kansas State than it will for Colorado, who still has Texas A&M on the schedule, who's down a little bit this year.
14-13 the final. Alana Rizzo is found Dan Hawkins, I believe.
Yes, a very happy Dan Hawkins, I'm sure. And Coach, one of the questions coming into this game, really this season, is the young offensive line that you guys have had, but they really stepped up tonight, created some great holes and nice protection.
Yeah, they did battle, and you know, we had kind of a simplified game plan, helped Tyler get in there. He did a great job with his legs, moving us and running around, and you know, Speedy had a good game. I believe in our guys and believe in our staff. You know, we're just going through a rough patch, but for these guys to go through what they've gone through and come and find a way to win a game, and hey, we're 4-3. I'm proud of our guys. We're only going to get better.
All right, defensively, though, do you think this is one of the best games that your defensive unit has had all season?
Well, you know, our D has played really good the whole year. We've had a couple of gashers at times. I think the difference being this game is they're getting, unfortunately, used to not having a big momentum on the other side and just going, let's go out and be like, you know, the Steelers or the Ravens, and we're going to go win it on defense. And I think that was awesome. They developed that mentality and held up.
Last question for you, Coach. Quarterback by committee tonight. Again, just the exceptional job by both of your guys.
Yeah, you know, again, it's not what you like, but again, my dad told me when I was a kid, you don't always get what you like. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I give both of them a lot of credit for being sacrificing and just saying, hey, whatever. Cody was fired up for Tyler. Tyler was fired up for Cody. And as long as we have that kind of chemistry, we're going to be as good as we can be.
A good team effort there for both of those guys. From what you saw tonight, have you decided what's going to happen for next week at that position?
Yeah, we'll just keep winging it. That keeps Ringo. Yeah, that keeps him a job, keeps him guessing. So, hey, we just got to do what we got to do to win games, but I'm proud of our whole team and proud of those two guys.
All right, thanks, Hawk. Appreciate your time, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you, and thanks to Coach Dan Hawkins. He ends the 3-game slide 14-13. The Buffs win it. They hold a Kansas State team 30 points beneath their average.
What a great defensive football game. I think it started up front because they were able to pressure Josh Freeman probably more than K-State thought that they would. Brad Jones had a good job, did a nice job getting to the quarterback a couple times, as well as the blitz package on 3rd down, Drew. I think 3rd down was really the key for Colorado defensively. You know, holding them in check, that was huge to get off the field in those situations.
No question. Tyler Hansen, who we were just speaking of, 71 yards in the air, 86 with his legs, and he's with Alana.
All right, thanks again, Drew. Tyler, I'm sure you've thought of this moment many times of playing at the Division I level. As a freshman, you already get your chance and proved that you could do it already. Your thoughts?
No, definitely. As a little kid, you always dream this moment, and it turns out it's more than I ever thought it was, so it's great.
You know, and I know you've had the opportunity to kind of sit back on the sidelines and in practice and learn from Cody. Tonight you guys did it by committee. How nice was that to just be able to go in and contribute?
I just wanted to help my teammates. You know, the whole week they told me I was going to get in. I didn't know when, and I just wanted to help my teammates, but I got to go.
All right, look, he's a freshman. They're calling him to go. All right, guys, back to you.
And you know what? When you're a freshman, don't be late when they call you.
That's right. That's right. He knows what's going on.
That was on his first series. He has moxie. They said, you know what, he's a gamer. Dan Hawkins said, we're not concerned with playing him. We know he'll step up, 53,000 in the house. He won't be overwhelmed by the situation.
And he wasn't, and I credit the coaching staff because I think that a lot of times if you put too much on them game plan wise, I'm speaking of true freshmen, then they do become overwhelmed. They went in with a little smaller package for him, a package that they knew that he could execute. I think that's the key, so kudos to the coaching staff.
No question about it. Not as many points perhaps as many predicted, but we thought it would be close. You didn't get closer than a 1-point final. 14-13, Colorado knocks off K-State in Boulder tonight. For Joel Klatt and Alana Rizzo and our entire crew, I'm Drew Goodman saying so long from Boulder. Again, the Buffs win at 14-13. Next week, College Football Saturday returns with a triple header. Oklahoma and K-State, Colorado and Missouri, Southern Cal and Arizona. That'll do it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.